People saw that.
Yeah,
And I betrayed Stoops in the comments. I said, it's out. I had the high ground. He's
he's
gone. He's
gone.
done.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another rule of today. We have two because Wave is not here, so he's unable to make it, but he'll be back next week. So it's just the two of us, which is a little more cozy, and we're going to talk about some stuff, news today with Star Wars. The main thing being there's some circulating rumors regarding Mace Windu coming back as Samuel Jackson coming back as Mace Windu.
He may.
Yeah. So we're gonna pull up that article as well as some other things we got in the pipeline that we're talking about. And I know that any Fortnite fans here? That's a big one. There's like a big Star Wars thing coming out for Fortnite. I think tomorrow or midnight. What up, dude? What's up, guys? How you doing?
Did you see in Celebration the live streams? What it was just flooded with Star Wars Fortnite. I think it was Darth Jar Jar. Just that's all people wanted. I was like, this is going to be trolling memes, or this is sick if this is what Star Wars has just become. It's just Darth Jar Jar.
Well, you know what they're doing? They're actually releasing. Did you see this Tales of the Underworld early in Fortnite?
Like you watch it
Like
in
the
the
whole
game.
show, yeah. Or I think it's the first few episodes, or but from what I saw, it's the whole show. It's released in Fortnite on the second, so like at midnight.
Well, you know who their target audience is. Jesus.
Yeah, wild, hey?
I never would have thought that would have happened 10 years ago. You couldn't pay me. I would be like, no, that's not a thing.
Yeah, I know. Oh well.
They watched that stuff at Celebration too, which is crazy. I'm sure people have sent you a breakdown. I had a guy on the inside who was giving me voice notes on the Asajj episodes, and I was like, "What episode?" I don't know how much he saw, but I was actually psyched afterwards because I thought, "Oh, this is going to be shit. This is just Filoni stroking his own ego," but sounds pretty good.
What do you mean? People got to see the actual episodes at Celebration?
From what I can tell, I've got a breakdown on my phone. I mean, I could pull it up right now and have a guy like literally just break down. But yeah, basically, I think they saw it early. I think that's like a big hook of why go to Celebration anymore if they're not announcing shit. Like you see it early, exclusives.
Yeah. This Celebration was kind of lame, dude. I remember the one in Chicago was just bumping. Like they had Ian McDermott, they had Hayden, they had Ewan there. What did they have Ewan? No, they didn't have Ewan. But it was pretty wild. Like there was just a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement, a lot of new things were announced. Especially with the new Jedi Fallen Order game and everything else that they had going on, like Vader Immortal, all this like extra cool stuff. But
yeah,
yeah,
which is crazy because Japan. I think you and I are both just such fan of the artistry that comes from Japan. It just seems on paper that's a huge win to marry Japanese artistry and anime and all that good stuff with Star Wars. That's just like an easy win. So
yeah. Ryan Gosling was there. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Look, they're trying to hype their movie. I like Ryan Gosling as an actor; he's fine. But yeah, I remember when Sean Levy was like, you got Ryan Gosling in Star Wars. Like, what's cooler than that? And it's like, I get it. You're just trying to hype up your movie, but I mean, what? That's not really a big selling feature.
Not again 10 years ago. I mean, after Blade Runner 2049, he was amazing in that. But it's just you kind of. I think we've learned to temper our expectations where we don't just pre-hype too hard. No pre-game. You're just like, I'm going in.
Yeah.
Just flat.
Right. Yeah. It's all about the story anyway. It doesn't really matter if it's an unknown actor or a known actor. So just saw that the Clone Wars clip where Bo-Katan sexually assaults Ahsoka by spanking her minor bum. No implication, Filoni a creep. Damn, dude, that's crazy. I remember that.
It's crazy.
What up, Austin?
Feel better, Austin.
Well, yeah, George didn't either. I mean, he was going to have didn't Michael Jackson want to be someone in the prequel trilogy?
Jar Jar.
Jar Jar, yeah.
Ooh.
And Tupac was going to be Mace Windu or something like that. Same with Leonardo DiCaprio.
He wouldn't have even made it to episode 2, which is crazy to think.
I know. What up, Benjamin? All right. Mace Windu could return to Star Wars under Bryce Dallas Howard.
Under her. American Dream.
Yeah.
Do we want to go into like all this bullshit? There's so much filler in these articles before you get to the meat of it.
It's because there's so much SEO that they put in there. They're just putting a bunch of bullshit to keep you on. Yeah.
You ever tried to look up a recipe and you like get 12 pages down and then it's just under all the like
it's like it's talking about the history of like cooking or something, and then I'm
my
like,
grandmammy made this, and I remember the smells in Italy, and you're like, what? Tell me about the pasta.
Wave is unable to make today's stream, but he will be back next week.
All right. Do you want me to get cracking?
Yeah, go for it, bro. Yeah.
Okay. Bryce Dallas Howard spoke to the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, mainly to promote her new movie Pets. So we're going to jump forward. In regards to Samuel L. Jackson, she had the following to say. Sam Jackson has been incredibly supportive of me and has told me many times that he would act in something that I directed. Turning the topic towards Star Wars, he said, and then I went straight to Dave Filoni and was like, so let's talk about Mace Windu and where he is, because is he dead? Is he? She clearly hasn't watched your film on Mace Windu's return.
Yeah, I think they'll get a kick out of it.
Anyway, Sam Jackson has basically said multiple times that he wants to come back. And Jackson said, there's a long history of people in Star Wars world with one hand, one arm, and they're still around kicking ass, he said. Jedis can fall from a great height without dying. Come on. Pretty sure Jedi's already plural, but yes.
Yeah. Well, I remember back in 2005 when he asked George, he's like, nah, come on, I'm alive, right? Like, he's like, yeah, I'm okay with that. Like, just George is apathetic, doesn't give a fuck.
The things that he focuses on are so amazing. Like, he's just so particular about some things, but things that you think that he would be micromanaging, he's just he's like, yeah, sure, okay. It's out of control.
Let me ask.
Anyway, that's basically the end of the article.
Do you want Mace to return? Yes, no. Because here a lot of people being like, he's too old to return. I think it would be great to return. If Palpatine had told Anakin he had to grape Mace to save Padme, would he? Shit, I mean, I don't think so, bro.
Wild. Absolutely wild.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Unlimited power. Wait, Anakin. I need you to do something in order to fully to get your powers.
He's like, it's not kill kids again, Master.
No, this time.
Slightly not as bad.
Master Windu.
And he's like, that's worse.
Say what, motherfucker?
I'll kill the kids.
Anakin's like,
just don't make me do that.
He's like, what? This is outrageous. Fucking weird, dude.
You know what I actually watched yesterday, I think, or the day before, was your full Acolyte Palpatine Anakin skit. I wish you did more of those in the Ki-Adi-Mundi. They're the best commentary, I think, on where things are, just using comedy, honestly, without, bashing people over the head saying it. It was so good.
Yo, so I see this a lot, like, why did Open Bar gang up on Theory? I didn't take it as that. I never even felt that. I don't know if that's what it felt like on the outside, but I've been seeing this a lot, and I'm kind of confused because I didn't see that. Even like Snarky J messaged me. She's like, "Hey, like, I wasn't trying." I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what you guys talking about." I don't know, but I didn't see it as that. I saw it as a debate. It'd be cool if Mace was alive, but at the same time, wouldn't make sense because he would be leading rebels against the Empire, and Yoda and Obi-Wan would know he's alive. Also, how would Mace view Luke? Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like he'd probably view Luke as like... Probably wouldn't like him, just because of his disdain for Anakin. but I feel like he'd know that he's the last hope. He's the last whore. Oh my god, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're not going to talk about anything to do with
Star Wars Episode 10,
Mace,
The Last Whore. I'm crashing out.
Unlimited. Ugh. I think that you'd have to go Inquisitor, which is a problem. Hunting Mace, fighting Inquisitors. He's more powerful than them. He's already shown himself. Unless he was so jacked up, so honestly, like just degraded, losing his limbs. He doesn't have technology on his side or whatever, that he has to crawl started from the bottom, now a Mace. That to tell a compelling story. Maybe he wants to kill Luke. That's his whole thing, is hunting Luke and that. And then at the end, he accepts the Chosen One prophecy, or he has other planets he goes to with other conflicts that he has to stop that we don't see in the background. Like that's the only stories you can't tell. You can't kind of intermesh his story without it being ham-fisted Order 66 Inquisitor. You know what I mean? It's just,
I just don't think that he would do anything other than try and find Vader and kill him. Like, there's just no way that he would just go in hiding or something like that. I just don't think that Mace has that type of personality, and unless that, like, you could write it that he was like extremely broken after he lost and was betrayed. But I feel like Mace's dark side would just prevail, and he would just really try to come back for revenge. I don't think he would just go in hiding like Yoda did and wait until Luke's, old. Unless
he lost either his memory, his connection to the Force. There could be, those tropes. They've been played out a bit.
Episode 10, The Last Ooh, still better than the Acolyte. What if he gets amnesia?
Yeah, see, that's one of the tropes. You got to take things away from him that make him though, and then he remembers.
How could Mace return though? Yeah, see, like that's the thing, is like it's very difficult to write something that would make sense for him to return. Like the dude literally got his hand cut off, his brain cells electrified into oblivion, and then thrown off of a 10,000 story building. So it's like, how would he return? It's like that.
He's like Hector Salamanca out of Breaking Bad. He's just in the wheelchair and he's got the little ding, ding, ding button. Yeah. Is that the guy that did it? Ding, ding, ding. That means no.
But then again, it is Star Wars, and there are ways to return. So I obviously had to come up with something for my script. We'll see what people say when it's out. I've been playing Oblivion and came across one of your vids from like 3 years ago on the Grey Cowl. Also, theory you skipped my Lesbo super. Good.
That's nice. I hope you're enjoying it, dude. I hear Theory's playing it. Someone told me that Theory's playing Oblivion Remaster, and it's like, huh.
Yeah, it's fun. Where?
You'll get sucked in. You'll get sucked in.
Oh. You didn't miss nothing with those next 3 episodes of Andor. Theory, still not much happening, but we did get some Lesbo smooching. That's about it. Okay. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it was yeah.
I'm chilling.
But I was more offended by the French people. They've got a planet called Gorman, which you're aware of because of Tarkin. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to them and I'm like, is that fucking French that they're speaking? And then they literally wear berets and have little cafe dinners and shit. And I'm like,
get the fuck out of here. There's French in Star Wars now?
So what happened? Because I researched, because I was pissed. I was pissed the French were there. It's supposedly called Gore, a language. But he did the thing that he hired French actors, so it just sounds French, even though, like, say, the Twi'leks from memory have a French accent, but it was very close to French, so it sounds like you're hearing French. But the problem is, remember how we talked about like Watto when he has a pretty evident stereotype, and then the voice, the hat on hat trick, that kind of comes through a Jar Jar. Like you can't make them sound and then look like a stereotype. You have to move away. The dude, Gilroy, was like, yeah, so the French inspired me. So it's basically like a French planet. And I'm like, And he's like, everyone's like, how cool, right? I'm like, no, they can have French accents, but they got to do other parts of different cultures to not look like France in freaking space. It's I don't know why that makes me
so they weren't
mad.
aliens, they were just like humans?
All humans. I didn't see, and they were just French people. They were literally French people. And I'm like, you what? I literally thought I was hearing French, and they look French. They yeah, they had cafes, and the dude, you know, Cyril, he joined their resistance, and he wore a fucking beret, a normal beret, a French beret, and I was like, what are you? I got been so like mad for nothing before. I was just like, come on, just make it different. Don't make it so I know that they're French. Just
bricks and screws gonna turn into baguettes and fucking croissants.
I couldn't believe just the stupidity of like. I will say that the budget of this series, it's like Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
Most of it, like it's so long and it's so drawn out, but there's so many good shots of planets where I go, oh, this is what that planet looks like. It's different than in my head. I love seeing the planets and shit, but like to not get that Star Wars, you can't just put French people on a French planet and and beret. Like, come on. I was waiting for one to have a cigarette and just be like, you know, like, I'm like,
have one of them having some escargot or something.
100, like if you watched it, and I know you won't, thank God. He's just like,
no, I'm done.
Oh man, no, not the
I may
French
watch it on my own, but I'm not going to comment on it.
Yeah, you know, I dig that, but you're gonna get mad when you see the French planet and the French language. Like, I think they said, oh, it's its own language, and he hired people to make it sound French. But I swear that it's probably 80% French because they were speaking it just so, and they didn't actually write gore because I watched with subtitles, as I'm sure everybody does. It doesn't say gore. It didn't say the language, so I'm like, I'm hearing French. But when they would like switch back to English, it would say English, and it wouldn't say basic either. It would say English, and I'm like,
no, wait, but
what are we doing here?
Chris says it's not French. It's a Star Wars Con Lang, played by French actors.
That's what they say, but he's openly said it's an French-inspired plan. I don't have a problem with a French-sounding alien language, but when you pair it with people in berets at cafes being like en français, you're like, that's not an alien.
This is only something like OG Star Wars rules would instate, not new stuff that's trying to incorporate whatever else. So no one's really gonna only OG Star Wars fans would understand. Be like, yeah, that's a little misplaced. But the new people would be like, what? What are you talking about? What the fuck? What do you mean?
They're French, dude. I'm like, no,
they're French. They're supposed to be French, man.
What's wrong with the French? I'm like,
right. Or are you racist
towards the French?
Don't like it, don't watch. Oh my God, why is he not watching? What the fuck? All right. Well. Yeah. Anyways, it'd be cool if Mace was alive, but at the same time, wouldn't make sense because he would be leading rebels against the Empire, and Yoda and Obi-Wan would know he's alive. Also, how would Mace view Luke? I feel like he'd probably train his ass. Like, listen, there's this evil guy. He'd probably train him in the dark side too, and he probably would train him since most likely birth. I don't think he would wait like Obi-Wan did, and he wouldn't wait like Yoda did. He would get straight to that shit.
You know what? I think what if he wouldn't be the one? Maybe he might do the Batman Beyond and be the old broken Bruce Wayne and train a new Batman, like to get his revenge because his body's too jacked or something. Which would be suck though, because you want to see Mace open up. You know,
not a single better Star Wars show ever made. Andor is god tier. All right, you guys are just glazing like crazy. Andor's the best thing to happen to Star Wars. Okay. Well, enjoy.
I'm pretty amazed by that. It's especially with how slow. I thought nobody would enjoy because it's very cerebral. It's very slow. There are like Saw Gerrera shows up.
It's for adults, bro. We wouldn't understand.
Yeah,
we wouldn't understand.
I want to see the Saw Gerrera show. That's what I want to see because him being all crazy. I love Forrest Whitaker so much.
Yeah,
when he went, He's just like, I want to go huff petrol. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Could you tell us the damage Mace received? Well, he got his hand chopped off. He got probably the most intense lightning that has ever existed to his face. And then he got thrown out of a... How many stories is Palpatine's office?
If you're asking me, I'm screwed on that, dude.
Yeah, let me see.
I don't even
Chat,
know.
do you guys know for sure? Is there anywhere that... How many stories is the Senate office in Coruscant?
Because that's assuming that there's a ground below it. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Because it looked like he
so
went into levels.
the Galactic Senate building on Coruscant, also known as the Senate building. No, wait, that wouldn't be it. Not the Senate building. Palpatine's office in Coruscant was located within the Galactic Senate building. While the Galactic Senate building itself was a massive structure, there's no specific information in the provided context about how many floors Palpatine's office was on. The entire building was described as a towering structure, and Palpatine's office was simply within it. Yeah, we know that. But how many floors was it? Coruscant itself has 5,127 levels, with the top being the wealthiest, the lowest being the poorest. But those are levels of the planet.
That's what I mean. There's no ground. Like he went down past what looked like a ground into the lower, whatever it is.
66 floors. Let's see. Well, okay, let's say like it's got to be like 1,000 floors at least. Right? So let's just say that he fell 1,000 stories. It's like, let's say on the way down, he's conscious enough where with the one hand he has, he grabs onto a speeder and holds on for dear life until it lands. He could, potentially. He could do it. Careful, bro. Dash, I've been playing Oblivion and came across one of your videos from 3 years ago on the Grey Cowl. Also, theory. Why am I just reading these again and again? Where are the new ones? Okay. Getting my butt kicked at by law school, but glad to be here watching the pod. Anyways, are y'all going to do any merch for the podcast? Oh, well, maybe. If you guys want that. But we're just happy that you're here hanging with us.
100%. You know, I've seen a lot of drawings, a lot of doodles by Stoops, but they're all star boys. He will not do rule of three. He just draws stars and our faces. So, you know, it's nice.
And male stick figures.
Yeah.
Hey, Theory, I've been watching you since the Last Jedi Theories. Thank you for helping me keep Star Wars alive. My friend, thank you, Elvis.
Viva la Star Wars.
When was Elvis born?
Well, he died at like around 40, and it was like 1977 or something like that. So I'm going to assume
I'm guessing
in the
75?
30s.
I don't know.
Maybe, okay, he died in 75, so probably 1935-ish, around that.
Oh, right on, man. Yeah, everyone's taking advantage of that sale. It's the best one we've had and biggest one, so I can't wait for you to get it. What did you grab? What was the main one you grabbed? Do you guys have high hopes for Tales of the Underworld? It focuses on characters we actually like, and it can't be worse than Tales of the Empire. Yeah, I got high hopes, for sure.
Yes, I didn't. Then I heard all about the episodes, and I was like, okay, I'm in. Damn it. I love Azaj since the Micro series when she popped out at Clone Wars, and I think she's a great character, honestly. I was kind of upset what they did in the books. I thought, I didn't love that book. I didn't love the way it happened. So, yeah, more Azaj.
Oblivion Remastered is goated. Star Wars game needs to step up. It's ridiculous that a 20-year-old remaster is better than Outlaws. Star Wars is cooked. Now, like I'm of the belief that Star Wars is never cooked. We just need the right people behind it. That's all. You could release the most banging Star Wars project tomorrow. No trailer, no nothing, no announcements, just in theaters. And word of mouth would get around being like, no, this is legit. But it's a matter of who's behind it, who makes the project, what is it about, is it bullshit or is it not? And that's really it. Like if something is good enough, word of mouth will get out, and we will talk about it. Like I don't mean us on this show. I mean like we as Star Wars fans, we will talk about it. So like imagine if like Luke made, or if George made, his sequel trilogy and released it tomorrow in theaters. Like somehow illegally goes ahead and he created this in secret and releases it, going against Disney's contract and all that stuff. Like, fuck, bro, telling me Star Wars is cooked? No, it just depends who writes it. So this whole idea of like, oh, Star Wars needs like 5-10 years off or whatever. No, it just needs the right person.
Yeah, I don't believe that. The people say it needs to cool, or Kathy Kennedy said,
No.
because I call her Kathy because we're mates, that people get Star Wars fatigue. I think that's bullshit. You put something out that's hot, people respond. Episode 3, didn't it make sickening amounts of money for the re-release in the cinemas? And
about 30 million almost.
This proof of 30 million that they don't need. Speaking of which, though, talking about Star Wars games, I've shared a screen if you want to have a look, Theory, because this segues beautifully.
Yeah.
So, Respawn, the developers that made Star Wars Jedi, have put out a statement on Twitter. As Theory said, we were 2 weeks ago, you basically were like, wait a second. We haven't heard anything about this project whatsoever.
Oh, yeah, clips.
Right.
What is this? So, this is new?
They put it out, let's have April 30th.
So like yesterday, 2 days ago.
Couple of days, and basically it says, as we sharpen our focus, we've made the decision to step away from 2 early stage incubation projects and make some targeted team adjustments across Apex Legends and Star Wars Jedi. Now, reportedly, and I may not be 100%.
No, whoa, what?
They fired 100 people. So basically, they had 2 games in development. This is what happens in the industry: is developers become successful and they get a glut of money. Basically, they're like, EA dumps money into things. As a former EA game changer, I can tell you this: that they basically go, we trust you, you're making us money from Legends, which Apex Legends, and Jedi, so let's give you more money. But then what happens is, say we're in a recession, the industry belts tighten, they don't meet deadline, whatever. So they fire 100 people, and then they killed 2 unnamed projects. We don't know if they're Star Wars related or not. I'm assuming not. And they're focusing on Star Wars Jedi. And so at the bottom of the story, it says, within the Star Wars universe, we're excited to keep building new stories with the next chapter of Star Wars Jedi series, aiming to raise the bar again for storytelling and gameplay. Basically, they just got massive layoffs, and now they're like, we're going to tighten the belt and focus on what works. So that's why. Yeah, well, that's probably why they weren't doing big announcements, because you know what happens when a company goes, hey, we're so good, we're going to bring out Jedi 3 or whatever at Celebration, or they may not want to, because then you know how much backlash you get in the industry when you do layoffs. Like, people call out the Respawn, they're suddenly like, the CEO was a bastard to me. There's a lot of it gets very tense. So I think that's why they've laid low, and they've obviously got their ass kicked, because nobody wants to lay off 100 people. But yeah, so it's still coming out, they're focusing on it, but will that change the game? We don't know. And it's kind of concerning that they're not even making announcements for one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Star Wars game property in the last 10 years to hit the shelves. Like, that sucks, dude.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
It could be good, though. It could also be good because like maybe they're trimming fat. Maybe they had a whole bunch of people in there that were just like wackadoodle and slowing the progress down, taking it in different directions.
Look, you never know. I've been in those companies when they do layoffs, and they definitely trim what they see as fat. It's wild to see how broad they just go with layoffs in America. I hadn't experienced it before in Australia, but American companies, especially in media, because everything's moving fast, it's like have 100 million. Oh, by the way, recession, take that back. We need to see shareholder reports, whatever. And they just people's lives, they just go bang, 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 bang. You know what I mean? But again, the people that they did get rid of at the company I was working at, some of them 100%, I scratched my head at what they were doing, you know?
Damn,
So
bro.
yeah, and that's a bastard thing to say, but you know what I mean. Like there's
Well,
definitely
yeah, I was a game changer there with you, you know, and we
I forgot about that. We only went to one thing together because, right?
yeah,
Did you
I was
come to
sent
the
out
other
to some other
events?
thing. I think I went to 3 things. There was the one in Gamescom. There was one which I was like contractually like I couldn't say where I was. I think there was something in the contract that I read. It was like you can never say you were here. I was like, okay. And then there was another one. Which were you at that one? No, it was Ryan and Robbie, Star Wars HQ.
Yeah, I went to a bunch of them. It
But
was
yeah, I think you were in more of them than I was
yeah, I
because
went to Sweden like 6 times to play Battlefront
holy
2.
shit, that's cool.
Yeah. It was cool. It was 30 hours there, 30 hours back, and I was only on the
Oh,
ground 2, 3 days,
oh,
so it wasn't as fun for me, but I did it because I wanted to. I yelled. I stood up and I was
damn.
saying shit like this combat doesn't, don't make the combat feel like 2 toys smashing together. Look at Jedi Academy and stuff. Dennis Brandville, who was the director of the game, was really nice to me because he just let me have my like outbursts. And he was like,
Yeah,
thank you for your passion. But they really were like, shut the fuck up and let us make EA's game.
yeah.
Nothing like Battlefront 1 and 2. I played Battlefront 3 this week. The cancelled one.
What?
Battlefront 3 by Visceral Games. They were making it. They took it off whoever was making the first 2 and they gave it to Visceral. This is back in LucasArts days. Oh, LucasArts.
Mm.
And they were making their own Battlefront 3 and then it got ripped off them because they supposedly they weren't making milestones. They were like, this is bullshit. It's all industry politics. And they gave it to DICE, who then made the reboot, right? I played the
How'd
alpha
you
of
play it?
Battlefront 3. Well, they've got the emulators on their Discord. If you go on their Discord, you can literally download it and like I used a
That's
Wii
crazy, dude.
emulator.
That's wild.
Dude,
That's cool.
there's an Xbox emulation and there's a Wii one. They said try the Wii one. It was the worst.
It was shit.
I
That's
couldn't.
not good.
I wanted to get in a ship and fly down to the ground, which you can technically do, but my
Yeah,
head kept turning into like an A-wing or something, and then it would just
yeah.
cycle through wet. So my whole screen was my head was a ship, and I was like, "This thing is the buggy, like unplayable buggy." I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed.
I didn't know you could play it. That's cool. Check it out.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, "Shit, if it works."
Yes, it was very nice. Thank you very much. Thanks, man. I wonder why they're like jumbling up all the messages here.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
understand
weird.
how people love Andor, even enjoying the show seems like a stretch. I don't know. I'm not going to put any brain cells into it. The Clone Wars is still best show by miles. The first season of Andor is very good. The second is garbage, full of modern politics with grape. You know, I don't mind if people like it. I don't care. Like, it's no difference to me. What I find interesting is like, well, why do I have to like it, right? Why do I have to watch it? And then people say, if you don't like it, don't watch it. If I don't watch it, then they have a problem with me not watching it. But then they have a problem with me watching it. It's like, well, dude, I'm just a dude. Like, I don't have to watch the show. I don't have to. Enjoy it. What's the big deal? I got the Satil double saber. I love the textures. That one's got some really cool engraving. Fat Mace, Bad Mace, Bad Batch episode, Andor. I do miss the Fat Mace episodes. Star Wars will only be saved when KK leaves Lucasfilm and the company hires you, Theory, and more true fans. I don't want to be there. I don't think I'm qualified. I don't think I'm the guy to do anything. I'm just a fan, and I'm happy being here, sitting in my seat, making fan stuff with you guys. I'm happy to be one of the fans. But I do hope that they hire someone competent that actually cares about George Lucas Star Wars and all the rules that went into the stuff that he made. I used to want Mace Windu to return, then I saw Jackson and Captain Marvel and Secret Invasion. If he can neuter Nick Fury, he will destroy Mace Windu. I don't know anything about Nick Fury.
Well, he didn't neuter Nick Fury, I believe. I think that's just the writing, like theory. Everything goes back to writing. Sam Jackson has the capacity to be a brilliant actor. If you watch Django Unchained or any of his other work, I'm just
Absolutely.
thinking Tarantino things. So it's the writing, and he can bring like we love Mace Windu, so we know that he can perform as Mace Windu. So that would be my counter.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think he would do great as Mace Windu. These Star Wars shows and movies from Disney, and they all seem to now have more normal English rather than Star Wars language. For example, they say hours or yesterday instead of rotation or another Star Wars term for that. Yeah. Well, it all comes back to the bricks and screws thing, man. I told you. Give them an inch, they'll take a mile. And now we got French people eating baguettes.
Those berets, dude, was so crazy. The French resistance.
Yeah. Hello, I'm a big fan. What's up, Mr. Thunder? Hi, lads. Love you both and your channels. Do you guys think Mace Windu would have a cybernetic forearm or use the he would not do the Dagon Gera, bro. He would have a cybernetic forearm for sure. That shit is only in a video game, and no, dude. Like, look, Vader is so powerful. You don't think that he would have used the Force to have like Force limbs?
Oh, just walking around, hovering. Non-force sensitives can't see him. They're like, "How are you doing that?" He's
What the
"Don't think
hell?
about it."
It's like a thestral for his limbs.
Yeah, that's so.
No, this is a
nuts.
video game.
You know what was
Like,
cool?
if we really want to go deep into it, we're like, okay, this only happens in a very short amount of time for combat. That's it.
That would be cool if he could do that. I would like to see him like Gohan in the Trunks future story where he doesn't actually get anything to replace the arm, where he's actually crippled and it's noticeable. I think that would be cool if you had to deal. He didn't have the capacity to go get a droid or cybernetic arm, I should say.
Yeah. SC615 says the second batch of Andor episodes was significantly better, but it feels more like a story in Star Wars than a Star Wars story, if that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Look, me leaving the show wasn't really me not liking the show. I actually don't think it's really that terrible. I actually think it's made quite well. I just don't like the fandom around it. I really don't like it. I don't need to be disrespected. I don't like that kind of treatment, and I don't want to be making comments about a show that I don't feel really portrays Star Wars as George would. So if I'm going to portray it like I did with Acolyte or whatever, I don't want to be part of a fandom that is just so entitled and thinks that this is the most holy of holy things and this is the best thing. It's untouchable. Like, I'm not interested in that, man. So, me not watching the show has nothing to do with the actual show itself. It's me just being like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna put down the pieces. I'm just gonna walk away from the board. I don't need to play. Why? And then people are like, don't like it, don't watch. So I didn't watch. And then now people have a problem with me not watching. I don't get it. It's very strange. This is only that Andor cultist fandom. I'm not saying everyone likes it. I'm just saying those select people. I'm just not interested. So leave me alone. Enjoy the show. I'll be back for every other watch party that there will ever be for every other Star Wars project. So leave me out of this one. Sup theory, the package is en route. I think there might be tax and other dues. I didn't know that works, so I put that you'd pay them. Hope my super chats cover the charges. Keep up the W content. What do you mean? You talking about Theory Sabers? Well, if your country is charging import fees for anything, I mean, I get charged import fees anything I get from Canada, from the States. So that's your country, dude. That's not a If there's going to be tariffs and stuff, we're actually going to be covering that. So that's an announcement that I haven't made yet, but I guess I sort of unofficially did. There's more to explain for that, but yeah, if there's taxes and duties, I mean, that's something that everybody has to pay. I remember I purchased a bike from California back in 2019 or something like that. It was a Super 73. It was sick. It was over $500-$600 for import fees. That's just the way it goes. So
Yeah.
pretty sure the
Well,
$20 import fee for if it's a Saber, then that's I think everybody can do that.
do you get to sidestep that when you move to America, or is that just I haven't kept up with the
Yeah.
tariffs?
Yeah. No, that's not tariffs, bro. Import fees. Import fees if you're shipping if you purchase a product from another company, there's import fees. So the border will be like, whoa, hey, we're going to make you, the person who lives here, pay extra for this coming in for our services at the border to check it.
To dog sniff it and be like, "Is that a Huffy?" Hate to see this thing go.
It
Damn
is all,
Canadians.
it's all, they want their cut.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna get started on how many cuts.
The government likes to take.
Oh, on cuts on cuts on cuts hidden. It's crazy.
Yeah. Are you guys excited for the Maul show? I am very nervous about it. Maul is the only character they didn't ruin. I am very excited about it. Yeah, absolutely.
Hope they do him justice.
My favorite Star Wars character is Qui-Gon. But the most realistic that I'm like is Anakin. The most flawed. I haven't hit my perfection yet, and I don't think I ever will.
I'm gonna say Kreia is my favorite for sure because she makes me think. And who I'm like is one of the Undercity dwellers, as you know, in KOTOR. Definitely. The scavengers.
Oops. Like in Andor season 1, can't remember what episode, but there was English insults in that show, such as the word idiot, which doesn't fit into Star Wars. Well, to be fair, in Empire Strikes Back, Han says, "I'll see you in hell."
Yeah, that was
So,
crazy.
yeah, I mean, those kinds of things, I mean, I'm not going to nitpick, right? But anything else, if you see me talking about something, I don't consider it as nitpicking. If we're playing the game, you have to play by the rules. You're playing the game of Star Wars, making Star Wars, then you have to play by the rules of George. So that's all I'm doing. And people who don't know the rules that he made or don't respect George are the ones having an issue with it. So what and where's Luke doing in the canon universe? And what's the current threat after Vader and Palps, since the sequels threw everyone off? What do you mean?
In the
What's Luke
canon. Canon means what Star Wars is they've said.
now,
Disney
today?
said.
So what's Luke doing? He's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, do you mean after after the sequels? What are you talking about? You talking about the sequels or after Return of the Jedi?
Yeah. So after he starts his own academy, we've seen him in
Ah,
Mandalorian, and he's just training people. He's figuring it out.
oh yeah, he's essentially starting his own academy, like we saw in I think it was Book of Boba Fett,
Was it?
where
There's so
we
much
see.
crossover.
Yeah, well, you remember those like spider droids that were building all the bricks?
Building, yeah, but you can't keep. It's like, is it Ahsoka? Is it? They just cross it, pollinate so
Yeah,
much in the shows. These
I know,
snippets.
I know, I know.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
Your
yeah,
choice.
no, dude. Anyways, yeah, he's just essentially gonna be. The story is he gallivants around the galaxy with Ben, trying to find different like holocrons and
Well,
I don't know, bro. I don't really pay too much attention to the.
Ben farts in his sleep once, and he's like, "What? Kill it!"
I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, right. He's like, "Uncle, no!" Like, can you imagine waking up to a crazy-eyed Luke Skywalker? Like, why is your uncle standing over you while you're sleeping in the first place? Sparks up the saber. Oh, oh, oh! Bad touch.
Bro, yeah, just yeah. 10th Theory Saber on the way. Emo Boy Ren SE. Oh, you're going to like that one. Stoked I can add to the Vader film. Thank you. Thank you, Short Dog. Appreciate you, man. Nah, I sent the Revenge of the Sith collectible to you. Oh. They're coming your way and you may have to pay taxes on it because of the import? Oh, absolutely. I will pay them. No problem. Yeah, no worries, man. Thank you so much for that. I thought you were talking about like you ordering. Sometimes you might have to pay import fees, but usually you don't. Just depends on who you get at the border, really, and if they're feeling cranky that day. But no, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for the gift. I'll take care of it. Speaking of Jedi games, what color lightsaber do you think looks best with Cal? I know it's blue in canon, but I thought the orange blade looks good too. I like blue.
Ginger for the ginger. Oh, green goes well with gingers. They love to wear green. So I'd say the green or orange.
Yeah, I like the blue, but once I got the orange, yeah, ginger with the ginger.
Just because he's ginger. Where's Stoops when you need him? He'll be able to tell us.
I know, right? Yeah, I like blue. Once I saw the orange light up, and I was just like, okay, this is pretty cool. Especially in that cave. Dash, what are your top 3 Marvel characters, and why also where's Stoops? He's unable to make today's show, but he's okay. Just a little under the weather.
Yeah, he's okay. Just to be clear, Stoops is coming back. I haven't usurped him or anything like that. I didn't get the high ground this time. We love Stoops. He's a sweetheart, and he's missed. He's a little sick. We nearly canceled the show because we love Stoopy, but
yeah,
we can't let him have all the fun.
We're like, nah, we'll just do a quick one.
Yeah.
Gotta see you guys. Gotta hang out with you.
3 top Marvel characters. I love Daredevil since I was a kid, probably because of the suit, but the disability and the echolocation thing was really cool. Also, I'd say Wolverine is just top tier. As a kid, I would just froth Wolverine, all his toys, his healing. I just wanted to be Wolverine. And shit for a third. That's a tough one. I'm just trying to think. Maybe Punisher? Yeah. What about you, Theory?
Marvel? Spider-Man, Logan, and geez, I don't know who the other one would be.
See, it's a hard. You got your
Hulk?
first 2. Hulk.
Yeah, probably Hulk.
I never attached to Spider. I like Scarlet Spider more than Spider-Man. Like, I don't know. I just felt like they kicked the living shit out of Spidey too much. Like, they just drag the dude where you just feel bad for him. His whole life sucks.
What up, Original? How you doing? What up, Tim O'Brien? Did you guys overthrow, or did you send him to the in the unknown regions? Excited for this. I need this while I'm at work. Somehow Windu returned. Much love, Theory and Dash. Much love, man. Hope you have a great day at work. Nah, he's all right. He's just a little under the weather. He's just not feeling too good today. So
He's done.
We wish him well.
Yeah.
Anything you say, anything you do, there will always be someone to be offended by an opinion anyone has. Just be you and don't give a fuck about those who get offended. Yeah, absolutely. Well, if I did, don't you think I would be gone in the last 5 years? Or in the last 9 years? Excuse me. Sometimes it feels like 5. Sometimes it feels like 100.
Agreed. Yeah, the thing about the stuff being you, number one, is that you seem to be like the arbiter of all Star. Like, you have to be the paragon, the person they look to. But then if people don't agree with what you say, they get hyper pissed. They're like, "No, you're the spokesperson for the fandom," and you're like, I'm just a dude who loves it." And they're like, "No, you're number one." Remember, I saw that clip of that dude who was like, "You're the spokesperson, so you have to say this, this, and this," and you're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
What? Did I react to this? Did I react to this?
You were on a web show with like 6 or 10 people, and you said, "I am not like the representative of Star Wars," because he was like,
"Oh, Levi," talking about that kid.
Yeah. And I was like,
"Oh yeah,
put that on someone." Your job is to have your taste. Like, what makes you an individual is a taste. Individual. You say good, bad, good. I like, I don't. I like, I don't. And people resonate or they don't. Like, the fact that people hold you to this position is crazy to me.
It's a funny thing because it's like I started my channel with 0 subscribers and nobody sees that. Everyone's like, "I hate Star Wars theories." I had nothing. I had 0 subscribers once, and I have seen my following grow. I've been there through every step of the way, every single day. I've seen what it was like when I had 0 to when I had 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, 5, so on and so forth. When you get to this point, you become like Ah, you're not seen as a person anymore. You know, it's weird.
Right.
It's like I'm the same dude, same guy as when I started. But you're seen as now like you have to say it this way. You have to say it like this. And of course, you say that, and then someone else will be like, you have to say it the other way.
Yeah,
So
that's what
for
I mean.
me,
That's crazy.
what I learned from the very beginning, just life, I say it the way I want to say it, and I think that's one reason why people have respected me so much is because they're like, okay, you know what? Maybe I don't agree with him, maybe I do, but I respect the fact that he is not, just like some shill out there who's just being fake, and that's just how I've always been. And if that pisses people off, I mean, shit, that's life. Like I'm just here to give you my opinion on Star Wars. I'm not the holy messiah. I'm just a dude. I'm just another Star Wars fan. So happen to have offered a lot of content and made a lot of animations and fan films and whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm just a Star Wars fan, OG Star Wars fan, which there aren't many of us left. So I
Well,
may
tell me
speak.
this then,
Yeah.
because I'm struggling with this, dude. I really am, because I watched Andor. They got in the newest episodes. One of the characters kisses another character, and they're gay, and there's two lesbians, like whatever, kissing, and it's a thing, and some like if it was, say, George made it, I wouldn't really think about it too much. I talked about like how in KOTOR, that was the first time they introduced gay characters in a game, and blah blah blah, and who cares? Well, but because of Gilroy, the way that he set it up, it seems like he's trying to be inflammatory, almost like he's doing a press run about this stuff, like he's anticipating that it's going to get attention. But at the same time, you, as like a person, you're like, when you talk about it, you immediately seem like a homophobe, because you're like, what are they trying to like just push an agenda, or are they just trying to like poke, and you know what I mean? Like, how do you tackle that then?
Well, I haven't seen the scene 'cause I haven't watched Andor. Um, but that kind of stuff, I don't. That's a nothing. I don't. I wouldn't even. I wouldn't even discuss that. Like what? What are you asking? Like two chicks kissing? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is it out of the norm kissing? Is it like anything beyond what Anakin and Padme would do, or Han and Leia?
No, but it's kind of the story. The love story is kind of lame. Where it feels to
Oh,
me
there's a
like,
story.
yeah, it feels like, yeah, it's one of the main characters, Mon Mothma's cousin, but it just feels like that they're trying to push that in versus it was natural. If it was natural, it's whatever. But like, it kind of, people are now. I'm saying people are discussing it, and I'm like, my problem with that is if they're just it's the service story, I don't care. But if they're just doing it, they kind of make hot button topics. That's really shit. Like, why use that as a platform?
I honestly think that there's more issues to worry about than two chicks kissing. I don't even wouldn't even consider that a problem. I wouldn't even consider that
Hmm.
something to even discuss in Star Wars. It's like whatever. Yeah, I don't know. If fucking Lando is having sex with his robot. I mean, what?
Yeah, okay, let's say that though.
Like,
What I'm
like
saying is like, okay, like, but that's another hot button topic, because I love Lando, and him having sex with his robot. It seems like, well, it's weird, but it seems like they're putting things in to try and get people to talk about it on the outside. That's the way that I'm seeing it. It's not a natural. If it was natural, which I don't know how it's
Well,
natural to have sex
shit.
with a robot.
I can't say anything because I haven't watched it, so I don't even know. Like,
No, but
does it
Lando,
feel
okay, Lando's a
unnatural?
perfect. Does it feel unnatural?
The
No.
Andor makeout scene, Is it
Not really, but it's in the news cycle. That's what I'm saying. It's in the
Is it?
news cycle where I'm like, they're clearly something big is happening where it's like, why are you doing it to get into the news cycle? Is it not pure, if that makes sense?
I don't know, bro. I haven't watched it, and frankly, I don't care if there are two chicks making out. It's
What
whatever.
about Lando though, the robot having sex?
It's weird. But at the same time, listen, if Lando's a freaky guy, and if that robot can make itself look real good, like I'm just saying, Lando's a freaky dude.
What if
He's down with it?
Okay.
He's traveling. You telling me? No, let's get in the nitty gritties of it. You want to get in the nitty gritties? Okay. Lando is traveling a long period of time in space. Doesn't want to deal with any whatever. I'm sure he's got girlfriends on different planets, but maybe he's traveling a long time in space, and his robot, what can she turn into? Like a hologram, or is it like full on like metal parts?
Okay, maybe I'm not phrasing my questions properly. My problem here that what I'm perceiving is there's a news cycle that benefits from this stuff. And it seems like people are writing this just to be inflammatory, if that makes like it's like the divisiveness. It seems like I don't think George would put Lando having sex with robots.
No, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't. But I said if George put two female characters kissing, I wouldn't blink because I know that what he's trying to do is just serve a story.
No, I don't care. I don't care if George put two chicks kissing. It's just whatever. Lesbians exist.
Right. It's not about of course it exists. But what I'm saying is, it's my question is what's the motivation? Why I was happy to see, and this is crazy, I was happy to see diversity in the ISB scenes after the third episode, and only in the fourth episode. When the ISB got together, it was all just white dudes.
Just white dudes.
It was just, it's like, and that's why my real life brain kicks in and go, why? Like, you talk about diversity, and every scene in this show has diversity except for when it's bad guy. So then I start to question things that I don't want to question. I just want to watch a Star Wars and go, like, clearly there's ulterior motives. Clearly there's checkboxes or something's happening. But when you talk about it, you sound insane. You're like, there's two chicks kissing, and people are like, what are you talking about? And it's like, oh, there's just white impure. You know what I mean? Like, even talking about it feels weird.
No, but it's whatever, man. I don't know. It's hard for me to comment because I actually haven't seen it. So I don't know. Like,
you saw the first three episodes.
I'm reading at chat right now, and they're saying that it seemed out of place or it seemed forced.
Right. She called her a warrior, and she sucked ass. The girl that died, that was a girlfriend.
She sucked her ass?
No. Hey, come on. Now I would have been glued to the TV. No, it just felt weird. Like something feels wrong. And I always think when something feels wrong, that it's not a creative decision. It's something else is at play, if that makes sense. And that I hate that because it pulls me out of it.
I agree that if something's out of place, but from what you're describing, from two chicks kissing, I don't see that as an issue. Let them make out, whatever. They're in love, tongue and everything, whatever.
You really put me in a box here, Theory. So how can I talk about this stuff in a safe space about like, and you're like, no, you're a bad guy, Dash. You
safe space. It. I would look. I haven't seen it. So if I watched it and it felt out of place, all right. But it wouldn't be it wouldn't be out of place because it's two chicks kissing. It would be out of place if it was just out of place kissing.
Right, but when you have somebody who consistently does things that seem out of place for Star Wars, you start to question, are they pushing something that they know is a hot button topic? I don't care about chicks kissing.
Oh, he's trying to. Okay, yeah.
He's trying to inflame the audience to get more clicks, to go on a press tour to say that rape's okay in Star Wars, or that like, oh, you're homophobes for not liking kissing, or just like, It almost seems like he made a weak
Oh.
scene, like a weak scene around it, so people go, "That feels weird." So then they talk about it, and you can
Oh,
go,
okay,
"Whoa, whoa, whoa."
I see what you're getting at. You're not actually
Yeah.
asking me what I think of the scene. You're asking me like what I think of him putting that in there.
Disney
Yeah, I
seems
don't know. I
to
look, listen,
habitually do
listen.
that.
I don't think much of Tony Gilroy, anyways. Um, I don't know. I don't really like the guy. It just rubs me the wrong way. I think he thinks he knows what he's doing, and when it comes to Star Wars, and he doesn't. And he's said in an interview himself that he doesn't even like Star Wars and he doesn't watch it. Um, why is he working on Star Wars then? You know, and I saw another reel the other day of him talking about how he was like, "Yeah, well, Kathy was fine with all of this. We just kept asking her for things, and I'm gonna try to find this thing and pull it up." He's like, "Yeah, we just kept asking for all these things, and she just kept saying, okay, sure." And I'm like, "Look, I want this," and she's like, "All right." And then I said, "I want this guy from this movie to be the director or whatever." And she's like, "Okay." And I'm like, "Okay." We just kept pushing and pushing, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, yeah, pushing to $700 million project. It's a lot of pushing.
There's a
Seems
lot
like,
of pushing.
and it all comes back to Kathy at the end of the day. So
It does. You know, and to be clear, I do like Andor. I think that it's slower than I'd like, but I do really like Saw Gerrera's I like the story arcs or whatever,
yeah,
but I do when it's Disney, I question shit, like, what are they when things hit the news cycle, I'm like, "Is this the news cycle? Is this the them trying to purposefully generate controversy because they know Star Wars is kind of in a lull, so they need people talking about?" I don't know, dude. That's my question is like, it just seems to keep every series, it seems like they do something to almost piss off some subsection of the audience. I don't know.
mm, where is that goddamn thing? By the way, guys, did you see the video that I uploaded today on Revenge of the Sith, the book versus the movie? Pretty interesting. Trying to find this freaking thing. Yeah, here we go. Got it. Right here. Right here. Dash, can you bring this up? Because anytime I do it, it doesn't work. It just won't play the sound.
Yeah. Let's see.
I had my friend make it. Background lights. It look cool, huh? You guys like the red more or the purple? I had it on red earlier, but
Purple.
I think. Okay, here we go.
Do I have to go bigger? No. We're kind of
Um,
at limit with a short.
try if you want. I don't know. The top right there should be that you were hovering over. Yeah, that thing. Yeah.
Just once after Rogue on the phone. I've never met him.
Tony, you've also said that this, might be the most important story you've told so far. Is there like a piece of maybe like feedback or an experience with working with Lucasfilm you hold dear, and maybe is there a possibility that Lucasfilm can continue on with the characters that have been introduced?
Well, they own it all. They can do what they can do as they wish. I mean, no, I mean everything that we kind of think of it that we've made 8 movies in 5 years, and there's a lot of ideas and a lot of new planets, a lot of everything in there. It's theirs for the picking. My linkage with Lucasfilm is primarily with Kathy. She started us. Pablo Hidalgo is the sort of keeper of the curia over there when it comes to keeping things real, and he's the historian, and he's the arbiter of what passes, what's kosher and what's not. I knew him from Rogue. We spent time on Rogue, and that's my primary point of connection with Lucasfilm. We don't really. I've only spoken to George Lucas once after Rogue on the phone. I've never met him. We kind of were left to be free range here. We kind of ran wild, and we kept testing. We tested in the beginning. Oh, I want to have him go to a brothel and kill 2 cops. Okay. We want the production designer from Chernobyl. Okay. I mean, we showed what we wanted to do, and then we set about to do it, and they were just incredibly supportive.
That's what I'm talking about. The way that he spoke just then feels like that they're doing.
He doesn't
things,
give a fuck, bro.
but
I
they're
sent
hot
another
button.
link. I sent another link. This is the kill shot. And if you still okay. Don't ever call yourself a George Lucas Star Wars fan. Ever. Ever. Don't even give me that shit. I wonder if you've even seen this, Tash.
This is going to be
Yeah.
scary.
Mm-hmm.
I came in after the director's cut. I have a screenplay credit in the arbitration that was easily won.
Right.
So that's
It's
the real
clear
estate.
that you remade the movie.
Did I
Were you
sweat it?
scared about it because it's
No,
Star Wars? That's
because
I'm
you
not
know
asking
what?
the emotional question.
No,
not the narrative.
no, I was actually, in fact, that was my superpower. I don't like I just never been interested in Star Wars ever. So I had no reverence for it whatsoever. I was unafraid about that. And they were in such a swamp.
They needed you.
Well, they were just in so much terrible trouble that all you could do is improve their position. It was just a mess and fear, and they just got themselves. And because it wasn't really my movie for a while, I slept every night. Like in my own movie, I wouldn't sleep, but like because it was somebody else.
Well, you weren't going to have a director's credit on the movie, so
Right.
it wasn't directed by you.
But at a certain point, it kind of tipped. You go like, at a certain point, everybody's looking at you like, well,
Yeah.
and then you're like, but through a lot of it, I was pretty calm and chill. And I was in London. I was having a great time. I was throwing strikes every day.
Right.
I was so happy to be engaged. My endorphins were fine. I was happy with what I was doing in front of me. I had this. I mean, my God.
Of course, the resources.
It's a Ferrari,
and all that.
man.
No,
Oh, my
clearly
God.
that was
Anyway.
amazing.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
So you loved the experience.
I
Would you
had a
make a
great
Star
time.
Wars movie? I'm
No,
sure they asked
never.
you and you didn't want to go.
No, there's
do it.
nothing. I don't like it. I don't like it.
You don't like the world. Not
No,
doing
it doesn't
that
appeal
thing.
to me. No, but I don't think Rogue really is a Star Wars movie in many ways. To me, it's a
Wake up, Andor fans. How you gonna fucking take that? God damn it. Jesus Christ.
That's so upset. I just watched Rogue One 3 days ago,
Fucking
and it was so good. So good. I was just amazed, enthralled. I thought this is like a D&D campaign party. It's just back to back, so quick paced. Son of a bitch. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
Look
the
at that,
first
bro.
statement of him saying I wasn't a Star Wars fan before, but I was hoping that he would go, but then I got immersed in the universe. Then I saw what it had to offer. Then I wanted to tell the stories, and it means a lot to people, and it means a lot to me, and I want to respect that.
Yeah.
No wonder it doesn't feel like it. And like Andor, like I said, I think it's got good storytelling and stuff, but there is, like you said, there is death by a thousand cuts with all these small things.
Absolutely. It's so many people defending this because this is the best Star Wars we've ever. You guys don't even like Star Wars. I mean, replay two of those things right there. Just look at the way he speaks. If you like the show, you like the show, but don't, for God's sakes, don't call it the best Star Wars. It doesn't even really feel like Star Wars. Revenge of the Sith feels like Star Wars. The first 6 films feels like Star Wars. Tales of the Jedi, for God's sakes, made by Disney, feels like Star Wars. This, please, he's collecting a paycheck.
That makes so much sense why he's stepping so far away with the French aliens and the French world. And it's because nobody's stopping him at Lucas.
No one's stopping him. No one's telling him what to do. He just does what he wants. He doesn't care. Doesn't even like Star Wars. He has no interest. He sleeps easy at night because that's his superpowers. He doesn't like Star Wars. And then now all these people are going to be like, yes, that's what we need. Someone who doesn't like Star Wars. Fuck. Okay. At least Leslie Headland seemed like she liked Star Wars, or at least some aspect of it. What the fuck? Get out of here, man. Leave me alone. You wonder why I don't want to watch the show? No. Thank you. See you in the next one.
Well, that's to my point before, and I'm fighting myself out of a lost cause. Is like that's a great example. Leslie Headland, and I know that we're talking about gay too much, but when they did a press tour and they just said Star Wars is gay now, blah, blah, blah. Like, to me, that's so strange to be talking about, like, to try and push an agenda that isn't Star Wars is amazing writing again. Like, to just push real world kind of 2025 hot button topics or what, you know what I mean? Like, there's just really ram a narrative that I would be, if I was them, I would be like, oh, I made this show and I'm really proud of the characters and blah, blah, blah. And that just happens to be an aspect of one of the characters. Who gives a shit? Not it's the identity of Star Wars. And then, like I said, people clap, go, yeah, Star Wars needs to be like that kind of, I don't get that rhetoric where it's like people want to bring in all this outside noise instead of Star Wars stories. I don't get it.
I like how this guy says the same thing that you said, literally as you were making your point. You can't make this up. Did you not literally just say that?
Yeah, that's not. That's on the Clone Wars, dude. Though, do you remember KOTOR? They go, "Ka."
Oh, KOTOR was different. That was some OG shit right there.
Peak.
Nah, unfortunately, no one cares about the Bothans anymore. Excited for my Palp Saber. Hope I got 66. I hope you did too. You guys listen to the Mandalore? They're an amazing Mando-themed rock band from Nashville. I haven't heard them, no. Nashville will be at ICC-Con in a few weeks. If you was in Star Wars and could both have a saber specifically for you, what would it look like for both of your light and dark side variants? What would it look like? I mean, something I could easily twirl and duel with really well. To be honest, what I would have as a Jedi is what we're releasing on Sunday. I just did a post about it today, unveiling the Dual King. Stainless steel. I ran over it with my truck last night at 4 a.m. The actual hilt, nothing, perfectly fine, pretty badass. And like these cool saber designs, if you're a Sith or whatever, like they look badass, but they're not really functional. Like I would have to say, like Revan's Sith saber is probably the most functional saber that you'll most likely ever see.
I'd do that. But if I was dark side, I think I'd try and scare people. I'd want like Desans that had that mace pommel with the spikes, or a Rancor tooth, or something stupid that's scary for people. But yeah, functional. I'm all about functionality, right?
Yeah.
You want smooth cylinder. Nothing's gonna impede like your hand moving.
No,
that's it.
No. Did you see? I was talking with Nick Gillard the other day. There's is it you who sent me this? Who sent me this? It might have been you. The Revenge of the Sith dueling lightsaber that Anakin used, that Hayden used. Was it you?
No,
it was someone else.
I sent you Palpatine's 1970s fit this morning. That was
I saw that. No. This is this was a week or two ago. It's like going for $100,000. Shit, where is it? I gotta find this link. It's insane. And it has. So when Nick had the boys shoot the film for shoot the fighting scenes, the sabers, they were just literally straight pieces of metal. He just had everything drawn on.
Yeah. Because I remember Qui-Gon, Liam Neeson was like they're aluminium tubes or something when they first started in prequels. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So pretty neat. But the fact that it's going for like 100 G's is wild.
I want to see it in someone's house. Like, do they just have it in a display case?
I mean, fuck. Like, I want it. I want that. I
just imagine some like Swedish web developer that made some app that made him $7 billion, and they just have got fuck you money, and they're just like saber, blah 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 blah.
Like, oh, this was from the Revenge of the Sith. It was pretty cool.
That's it. Yeah, that's all they do.
I think it was from one of the Star Wars movie.
I don't like Star Wars. I like Tony Gilroy.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure like GSP would have that in his house. He's a big Star Wars fan. It's not even listed anymore. Someone bought it. No.
I didn't know that he was a Star Wars fan. That makes me like him even more.
Dude, he's a huge Star Wars fan. But like George Lucas Star Wars doesn't really fuck with the new Disney stuff.
I loved him in the Marvel films. God, he can fight.
GSP? He's in the Marvel films?
Yeah, he fights freaking Steve Rogers, Captain America. He's like, put down the shield. And then he does. And then he goes toe to toe. Obviously,
That's him?
Chris Evans' ass.
I
Yeah,
didn't
and then
even
he
remember.
fights new Captain America, Falcon. Shit, what's Anthony Mackie?
What the fuck? Wait, I'm racist now because of my French accent? I'm part French. Get the fuck out of here. You don't know what you're talking about. Hey guys, finished the Bane trilogy today. It was awesome. Do any of the surviving characters make appearances in other works?
Great question. A dead character
If
does.
Disney wants. I mean, yeah, maybe we see Bane in the Clone Wars, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got. We don't see Xana again, do we? All we got the last moment we see Xana, her hands twitching because of Bane's.
Yep.
And you go, has he taken over? What's happened? And
Where
then
she, yeah.
coolest ending, but she was a great character.
Who said, was it last week or a couple weeks ago? Someone said that Shin Hati, the actress who played Shin Hati, would have been a great.
That was me, yeah. And
Yeah,
then she would have been a good Xana. And then what did Stoop say? Stoop said that Sydney Sweeney should play her. And then I said something to the effect of, but she's 11, like she's not old enough, right? And then you guys gave me shit because it sounded like I said something about an 11-year-old. I'm like, no, because she starts young, obviously. I can't imagine Sydney Sweeney playing an 11-year-old.
All right, let's just.
No, you know exactly what I'm saying. You're just cooking me here.
Did you tell Nick Gillard that Hayden name dropped him at Celebration? I thought that was super cool that he showed some love to the Swordsmaster. No, I'll tell him. Yeah, unless he doesn't know about it already. Episode 3 in theaters, but who do you think that they? I can't. Episode 3 in theaters is goated. Even the 100th time seeing it, it was like 9 years old in 2005 again. Also got the 2004 DVD trilogy box set 4 to 6. Yeah, I heard it's out of theaters now. But for those who went, you guys literally made about $30 million, which is insane. Right into Disney's pockets. All right.
I know, Kathy going, huge win. I did that. All of
Calls the investors. Hey, yeah, you know what? We just did great. Star Wars is doing great.
Can you imagine George at his house being like, you used to get my fucking coffee? Oh, she just keeps on taking the wins.
I don't know. I don't think George cares, man.
No, he doesn't seem to. I see people talk to him about that shit, and he's like, I'm over it. He has definitely made peace.
He's
God
like,
bless him. Yeah.
He's like, listen, I
bless
made
him.
my 1 to 6. I made my Clone Wars. It's all good. I don't blame him, man. The fandom was also insane. Like, I don't blame him.
Can you imagine the strength? Like, how much shit you get for saying you don't like something? Imagine being the creator. I mean, like, here is my baby. And people being like, fuck you. You ruined my childhood, you fucking prick. And he's like, what?
It's like, this is mine. Like,
Yeah, I'd made that stuff. And he's like, they're like, no, dude, we're not going to appreciate this till 20 years later. Fuck you.
Who would win 100 men or one Rancor? Oh my
Rancor.
God.
Rancor, dude.
Unless one of those men is Luke Skywalker. What do you think about Vader Immortal's protagonist lightsaber design? Will it come to TS? It's pretty cool. I mean, that's a very intricate design. It would be difficult to make, but it would be cool. I've seen a few replicas, online, and I wasn't too happy with the look of it, but it looks like it would be pretty cool to make. Dash, that's the point of Spider-Man. He's relatable. All this horrible stuff happens to him, and yet he still picks himself up to be the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He's in my top 3 for sure. Yeah, Dash, fuck you. You don't know Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's true. Look, I loved Spider-Man as a kid, especially the 90s animated show. It just, I mean, that intro and the X-Men intro went off. But, you know, when he's making sweet you know what, with Mary Jane, and then it turns out that his baby making batter is radioactive and it's hurting her. Come on, dude. Like,
What?
I've got a threshold. I've got a threshold of like how much they ruin this dude's life. I love the down to earth Spider-Man of like, it's pizza time. I've lost my job. Relatable. But they put like, just look up some of the things they've done to him, and it's wild. It's not. I know comics go off script a bit, but you know, he becomes like, he either like tries to kill the universe sometimes, like what if Spider-Man went bad, or just every bad thing that you can conceive happens to him. And I know, again, this is the nature of comic books, but I feel like it's gone from the most relatable character to almost like they just put him on a pole and tie him up, and are just flogging the shit out of him within like an inch of his life, to the point where you're just like, let him die. And they just don't. They just keep going. It feels masochistic or sadistic at this point. That's just me. I love Spidey. Nobody in the right mind, I don't think, hates Spidey, except for Stoop's dad with his hate of Spidey's web swinging, which makes me so happy that his dad just doesn't get on board with the web, because that's the coolest aspect. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Spidey. Perfect.
Did I hear you say that his jizz was radioactive?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like I love the relatable stuff that Stan Lee did, and I love where it got to. But like at this, if you look up some of the more gnarly stories, they put him on a pole and they're just whipping him at this point. Like they're going
weird.
Too much.
That's super weird.
Finally
was able to get
that up.
It's real. yo, Dash. Yo, it's realistic.
Yeah, I know.
It's real.
Everyone has a line. I know.
It's realistic, Dash.
I'm a fuckwit because I just have a line where I'm like, this may be a little too.
Just like Andor. It's realistic. You need to see it.
Yeah.
Finally was able to get a Profi Annie-3 Saber a couple days ago. Right on, man. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it when it comes in. What pack did you get it with? What up? Fish Like Fish Productions? Member for 19 months. That's a crazy logo.
Cthulhu. Love it.
Yeah. Cthulhu with bat wings. What up, fellas? Hate bringing back dead characters normally, but if we bring back Jedi, it's got to be Plo Koon.
No. He died in a fiery ball on, what was it, Maigito in that ship? He deserved that. I'm sorry. I know he's sitting there going, no! No, everybody has their favorites.
If they did a Dash Rendar film, who'd you cast? Harrison Ford. Yeah, Dennis Quaid would actually be really great, but he's just kind of old now.
Yeah. It's hard because he looks like prime
Dash.
Dolph Lundgren. No, he looks like Dolph Lundgren, I reckon. He looks more with a mullet and orange hair. You need somebody who's built. Stoops. Orange mullet. Grow out the mullet.
This is my offensive super chat. Be offended by it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Brady. Are you planning on making any more limited exclusive boxes? I got the snips and I missed palps. Yeah. Go look on our Instagram right now. We literally just announced the Dual King dropping on May 4th. 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. And this is the first dual-centric saber that we have ever made for combat enthusiasts, for saber combat enthusiasts, namely for the Saber Guild. So everything has been designed specifically to make this saber quite indestructible, virtually indestructible. Like I said, I drove over the hilt with my truck, and I have that in video, which I'll release probably tomorrow on the Instagram. But I think revolutionary-wise, like for the saber community, nothing's been created like this before. So it has weight adjustments that you can take off individually, altogether, leave them on, or one or the other, depending on the user, the combatant. It has knurling, like from a barbell, from a gym barbell, on two specific parts of the saber, with the middle being Stainless steel. Well, it's all stainless steel, but the middle not having any knurling and just having like 3 rings that I designed so you could put your either your index and middle between them, or rather around them, or any of your other fingers, and it helps you just twirl in the middle. The saber it's like 3 different sabers in one. So if you put your hand near the emitter, it feels different. But if you put the 2 weight calibrations on the bottom, it's going to feel completely different. So that's like 3 in itself right there. If you put it in the middle, it's different. If you put it in the bottom, which is where I like to put it, it's quite different. So as a very deep blade insertion, it's put in a lot of work into this one. I would say over the last 9 to 12 months, I've always had my mind on this kind of saber and this sort of thing that I wanted to do. The ignition is in the bottom, so you don't turn it off when you're dueling, and also the charge port is external as well. So there's no fussing with taking the battery out or anything like that. So yeah, make sure you check it out. It's on the site. It'll be released on Sunday. Just pushing the gay and lesbian narrative in Star Wars subliminally should be rejected completely and out. I don't have a problem with gay or lesbian people, and I'm not saying anybody else does. I'm just saying if they're gonna have those characters in Star Wars, I don't give a shit. It doesn't affect me as long as the characters are good. As long as they're cool, compelling characters. If you're gonna shove it down my throat that they're gay and that's the main interesting thing about them, well, fuck you. No. It's the same as if you did it in saying that this person is straight and that's the main interesting, compelling character key point about them. No, it's not. So if that's what they want to push, no, get real. But if that happens to be part of their identity or whatever, that they're gay, I don't give a shit. As long as they're a good character, great. But just don't shove it down our throats. Don't put it out there as if like we really even need to know, because we don't. I don't care. How many times we have to say, I don't care. Just make it a good character. But what they do is they essentially make like a character to be gay, and then they make that to be the most compelling piece of them as a person. And I think that's just really weird. We have much more to ourselves than who we sleep with and who we love. It's weird.
So, do you think sometimes though it feels like they do it on purpose? Like they make them almost not good. Like maybe they dump 90% of creativity into that part, and then they've got nothing left. And then they do. It's like they've got this PR thing right in the gun to start selling it outside of. That's the thing that drives me crazy is the PR runs that they do around it, and you're like, oh, so you're clearly doing this to like, I don't know why you want to be incendiary.
Yeah, so I think that they definitely have a checklist they run through, but they don't make them good characters. They just say, hey, we're going to make this character gay. Okay, well, is there anything else notable about them? No, they're just gay. Okay.
Right, okay. But then what happens is you react to that and you go, they just put some random kiss scene in there that feels kind of forced or whatever. Let's say, like, what was it? Was it in Force Awakens when the 2 pilots kiss after
Rise of Skywalker?
They won the battle, right? Rise of Skywalker, and it's like that was after the controversy when in World War I or II there was a picture of a man kissing a woman, and people were mad because the woman said it wasn't, she didn't expect it, so they said, oh, he's kissed her without her consent, and like people were big mad about that around the same time. But then they put it in the movie, and you were like, are they just doing, like you said, check boxes? But then to talk about it, they just clip you on the internet. You sound like a raving lunatic because you're like, they're kissing, and you're like, no, it's there's layers to this shit. They do it on purpose.
I could see you. Yeah, I could see what you're saying.
Right, like I love Juhani. I loved KOTOR Juhani. I was big mad when I played it first time because male characters you couldn't romance it. So because I always played dudes, I don't know why. I begrudgingly made a female to go through that storyline, and I loved it. But like the purity of that, they did that when it was still badass, when nobody was saying anything about it. They were putting the balls on the line. It seems like they get so much clout from going on PR runs and saying, yeah, Star Wars is gay, that you're like, there's no purity to the story. It's just self-aggrandizing for that small part of the fandom that loves to get on Twitter and scream and say, this is our Star Wars now. You know what I'm talking about. It's just, it feels crazy to me that we're even having this conversation.
It's check boxes.
Yeah.
It's all they're doing. Instead of making a character like compelling and interesting and have a great story and like actually someone relatable, they tend to just make them gay and be like, okay, well now they're relatable.
That's but the thing is, and like you said, because I don't have any feeling to it. Like if gay's so normal, which I think it's just a thing. It's just what some people are. But if it's so normal, why do a press tour around it? Why say Star Wars gay? No one says Star Wars is straight. No one goes, yeah, Han has kissed a straight person. Like they do PR runs based on that thing, or the rape or whatever. Like they're doing PR runs around things that potentially can upset some people, or you know what I mean? Like it seems so disingenuous.
I could sum it up to just being Hollywood, or they are master of metrics. They
as we're talking about it,
don't care. Yeah, they just want people. The time of talking about a movie because it was good is kind of over, right? You now have to go above and beyond. You got to go crazy. Like you got to talk about other things outside of it. It's like, well, what did this actor do in his personal life? What did that actress do in her personal life? Is this actor actually gay? How about we just talk about the movie? How about that? Right. Is it a good movie? No. Is it a bad movie?
Right. Yeah. But that's the problem, is because then when you go, it's a bad movie, they go, oh, well, you're a homo, you're a phobe and insta, whatever. So they fall. I know it's their shield, but it's crazy that if Andor is the best thing since sliced bread, and it's better, Head and Shoulders are better than some other stuff in the last 10 years. But
sure,
if you're dealing with slop, then what do you? But like the fact that that's what they still fall back on, just it upsets me deeply, because you're not bringing people into the fandom by trying to divide, by being divisive. Like they should stop those PR runs of people just talking. Like,
well, so going back to Darth Valgus, he says I would restructure that and saying just pushing anything sexual in Star Wars subliminally should be rejected and completely out. I don't think we need any sort of sexual anything in Star Wars. Why? If it's a different kind of show, okay, well, it's got different rules. But you have to realize every show has rules, like a board game. And George Lucas has a lot of rules. Lord of the Rings has a lot of rules. J.R. Tolkien, he's got rules for his universe. You cannot take rules within Star Wars and then put them into, Lord of the Rings. You can't do rules from Harry Potter and throw them into, well, what if, when it comes to the rules of the game, you have to play by it. And that is only dictated by the person who created it, which is George Lucas. So now why there's so many issues is because you got Disney, and now they're telling you the rules. Bro, this came before from George. This isn't from you. So we need to play by his rules. And that's the problem today. But them interjecting a lot of sex in any way, whether you're straight, gay, it doesn't belong. I don't think it belongs at all. And what they're doing today in movies is making people, it's almost like they're devaluing people and just summing them up to their sexual preference.
It's
crazy. I don't understand.
That is
so weird.
Imagine
it's
just
so
being
weird.
Like, you're a great character because you're straight. Like,
it's
and
like,
then doing
the
a press run. The press run is the thing that really, like I said before, and I know that we differ on this, but the only reason why I accepted the big scene is, number one, I was bracing for a lot more, and number two, she beat the shit out of him and stopped him before it went to that point. If it went to the point, I don't think I would embrace it. But because she won the fight, I was like, okay, thank God for that, because I was expecting a lot worse. But the problem is, I was expecting it because there was a press run before and after, and him legitimizing it by saying, well, the history of the world is ran on rape. And I'm like, why are you saying that? If the art is good enough, why are we doing press runs explaining what's the word? Legitimizing? No.
Dedra definitely
Why?
likes to be on top. That's true. Yeah.
Something's just fundamentally wrong here. And we can sense it, I think, collectively. Something's wrong. This checkbox stuff, this PR runs, not focusing on the story and trying to
Yeah, of course.
push.
It's
That
nothing new.
something's wrong.
Yeah. It's
And
nothing
if it's
new, man.
normal, then just make it normal. Don't talk about it. Just it is. It just is if it is normal. But if
I mean,
we
if
need
we
to
really
talk
want to
about
get
it,
into, if we want to get into it, look at all the shit that they're putting on TV and all these shows. If we really want to like stray away from the channel and just talk like as mates, what's with all the fucking weird shit that they're putting on TV for our kids to see? You know, what is this in schools and all that? If we want to go further than that, you know, we can. But it's like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I think they just need to stick to telling good stories, and that's it. Leave it at that. Everything else,
agree.
like fuck. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of issues going on in the world today, and anyways,
Yeah.
yeah. Where was I? Where was I? Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor have been more compelling writing than nearly any of the new Disney Star Wars content, save for Rogue One. Yeah, I really like those games a lot.
Goddamn. Was it Bodhi?
Bode?
Bode. Son
fuck
of a
that guy.
bitch.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
that guy. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
We all know what love is showing. The who and how is a little too much. Yeah. Yeah. And it's comments like this that, you know, sorry, but having gay characters isn't a problem. Like, nobody said having gay characters is a problem. Nobody. But if you shove it down our throats that the character is gay, why? What is that supposed to do for us? If you shove it down our throats that a character is straight, what is that supposed to do for the character? I don't know. Is that like a relatable thing for humans? Like, is that an entire person's identity? It's like, no. There's so much more to a human being. So I don't think there's any issue if a person is straight, gay. It doesn't matter. But who are they as a person? And that's what the story is supposed to be telling. I don't even know why there's such an obsession with this. What are your thoughts on them recasting a legacy character, Bail Organa?
It sucked.
What?
I love Jimmy Smits. The actor who replaced him is really good as well, obviously.
Wait.
You haven't seen it.
What?
So, Mon Mothma and no, it wasn't Mon. Was it Mon?
Are you
And
telling
her
me
husband
Bail
go-
Organa?
Yeah, Bale's not Bale anymore. Jimmy Smits had a schedule conflict, and so they got Benjamin Bratt. I think it was. He's really good. It's not Lou Diamond Phillips. Shit, there's like the trifecta of Latino actors that are really good. No, it's Benjamin Bratt, I believe.
Okay.
And he doesn't try and act like Jimmy Smits, but I miss Jimmy Smits immediately because he's Bale, and it's kind of shocking that they just recast him, but
That's
they had to do
unfortunate.
it.
I feel like they should have waited.
Yeah, I like Jimmy Smits a lot. It's just
Is there any article that talks about this? Hold on.
new Bale Organa
Oh shit! There's news about it.
news. It
Why
came out.
Andor recast Bail Organa? Yeah. There's a video. What? Here we go. Here we go. You want to pop that up?
Absolutely. Oh, it's Ash. I don't know
That's
if you've met
crazy.
Ash before crossing. She's actually really lovely.
No, who's that? Is that the
She's
interviewer?
the interviewer. Yeah,
Okay.
she's a big Star Wars fan. She's nice, chick.
Benjamin Bratt as Bail Organa was a surprise to me. I'm curious. I'm just point blank. Like, why was it not Jimmy Smith?
It's really hard to bring legacy characters back for a whole variety of reasons.
Yeah.
Money and scheduling and
Wait, pause it. But did this
Money.
guy just say money?
That's taboo. They usually don't say, because then it makes Jimmy
Money.
Smith's like Jimmy Smith looks like a prick. So what happens in PR?
Now you make him
is-
look like an absolute prick. Yeah, and then when you're spending
looks like,
$700 million,
yeah, it makes him look like he's nickel and diming. That's in
wow,
PR. We'll never say those
wow,
words. He costs too much.
wow.
He's over negotiating. He overvalues his worth. Like, you can't say money in the PR world.
This guy. If anyone's just still defending this guy, man, this is. Oh wow. Hey. Okay.
He's money hungry. He's also a bastard to work with. Yeah, breaking the rules.
I mean, he just wasn't available. It didn't work out. He was doing his other show, and we were under the gun, and it just they couldn't work it out.
But it was wonderful to have Benjamin to work with. He's such a beautiful actor. He's got this stature and this kind of gravitas, and he was so respectful. He's really keen, wasn't he?
He had the perfect attitude about doing it. I mean, it's a really tough thing to do. And you see, we introduced him a week earlier
Mhm.
in a kind of naff moment, so people have a week to get used to the idea. And they can chatter about it, because he has to get to work the next following week. So
Right.
we want to bring him in and have people. But he's a very popular guy on set. Very popular human.
Very popular human. Yeah, I don't put any aliens in my show really, but interesting.
Crazy, right? Crazy, and
Wow.
he doesn't
Hey,
feel
look,
like Bale.
Shit.
It's weird.
If they couldn't get him, they couldn't get him. What can I say?
Money, only money.
Yeah, you don't say that, man. That's weird.
It's wild.
It's a weird thing to say. And especially when your show is $750 million, and then also when in that, what did he say in the last clip, in the first clip that we put, where he was like, yeah, we kind of just kept pushing for whatever we wanted, and they were like, okay.
So we're doing some cop killing, right? And we're like, can we get 2 guys beating on the cop? And they said,
In a
fine. And we were
brothel,
like,
and
yeah, that's what I'm saying. His mind snaps to, and it's fine serving the story. I know the scene, but it just seems like he's looking for inflammatory, potentially. Some people don't care, but it just seems like he's got a checkbox of how to like push the envelope. But it's a weird thing. Like, I like Dark Law, as you know, but I'm like, where is this dude's heart at? Because it should be to serve a story, not to just shock the shit out of people. Try and offend every group they can possibly. Like, just stupid shit like that. I hate that.
Interesting. Well, yeah, that's a weird way to. He obviously had some animosity towards, I guess, maybe Jimmy Smith's. I mean, he was on some other show. Money. It's like, dude, you're what? Come on. Agree, 100% dash. Agenda not needed. It's killing our media and molding our youth, but mainly causing conflict. That's the agenda.
Why though? That's so stupid to just like.
Oh,
that doesn't make sense.
By the way, everybody, I am back to having to bite my tongue as long as I'm on Canadian soil. A new election just happened, and Mark Carney is our new prime minister. So
congratulations.
That is essentially if you had Trudeau and then you had above him. So now he is our PM. So I'm back to having to shut my mouth on a lot of topics. Nice.
My condolences. I thought you got a good one. No, we've got. I've got a vote in like today or tomorrow, and we've got like the 2 shittiest candidates. Like, there's no win for me. I'm like, I just vote on policies, but both of them kind of rub me the wrong way. Just policies, not even the dudes. And I'm like, oh man, it's like picking what does South Park say? A turd burglar, a turd something, and a shit sandwich. I forget what it is. And you're just like,
it's weird. Damn, dear, you talked all this shit and now you're going to jail. I wouldn't be surprised, bro. Your hate for Andor is pathetic. Did you not just see the clips that we showed? Fuck this guy, whatever. It's not even for Andor. It's just dickheads like you. Literally. That's it. Don't want to play a game. Enjoy. Have fun. Disney released a limited edition Mara Jade saber. I didn't get it because I'd rather wait for you to make a Mara Jade replica saber for Theory Sabers. Oh, geez. Well, yeah, the official one is going to be from Disney, right? So, thank you, man. Bought the RVJ saber today. So stoked for its arrive. Hope all is well. That's a sick one. You're going to like that one. Very, very nicely designed. Disney Star Wars is obsessed with lesbians. Gay men should be upset for lack of representation. Kind of joking, but sexual assault and rape is pushing boundaries. Yeah. Any advice on what to do if Star Wars has lost its luster due to Disney? Like, how do I prevent it from tainting OG stuff in my mind? Oh, geez. I mean, anytime I felt that was happening, I would just go and rewatch any one of the 6 films, and it just drew me right back in.
Oh yeah.
Like you don't even remember any of the Disney stuff.
I just finished Plagueis audiobook, and it's been just the love. I know Theory's doing book reviews as well, and you just feel the love and excitement come back and washes over you.
I don't understand this comment. I don't. Where? Bro, why is it not showing up? Amazing how obsessed people are over gays kissing. It's like you can talk and talk and talk, but that's all they retain. It's like, what do you? No one said anything. Like, people literally said that they don't care if they're gay or straight. Like, we don't need to know the sexual stuff all the time. I don't know.
Right. And if it happens a lot, like if it's a natural occurrence, like clearly not everybody is gay, but like, how do I put this?
I just listen. I'm gonna pull the Andor move, the Theory Andor move. I'm just not gonna play the game. It's the Quentin Tarantino move. I reject. What do you say? I reject your thesis. I reject your hypothesis.
Yeah.
I reject your hypothesis. Whatever you say.
I'll give you another example that works, because I've again nothing against gay people. I've got nothing against old people, but watching Ant-Man, the third one, I think. Hey, hear me out. When Michael Douglas was smooching on with an older what's her name? She played Catwoman.
Charlize Theron? No.
No,
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm like, okay, cool. Old people can kiss. This is happening, and I'm like, it's a thing. But would I want to see that all the time? Not like if it serves the story. No, people. Okay, people don't want to like. It can happen sparing. Like if it's their characters. If I want to see old people. It's the same thing. We are programmed to procreate, and so when people go out of that realm, that sliver, people just naturally aren't interested in it. Otherwise, every movie would be old people getting it on or gay people. Like there's clearly
yo, 2 gay grandpas. Now that I gotta see 2 gay grandpas making out.
Every movie, if it's what we were programmed for, but we're not. So intellectually, I know that it happens. I know it's a beautiful thing between people, and I don't shame them. But then you start to wonder, let's say if it's every single episode, old people macking on, you'd be like, something's weird is happening. It just throws you a little bit.
Yo, 2 grandpas just macking, fucking.
Hey, love is love, dude. Love is love. Just like 2 twisties smushing together, rubbing, causing friction.
Hell yeah, yeah. It dashed the spot. The base that saw was an Andor, and it's the Future Resistance base on Dakar for the Force Awakens.
That's pretty cool. God, I love Saw Gerrera. That dude is so nuts. I'm convinced that in Rogue One, that little mask doesn't have oxygen, He's just got like petrol in the what is it called? Rido? The fuel?
Yeah.
He's puffing fuel. That dude is nuts.
Dash a gilf watcher.
Hey,
That's crazy.
don't
That's
shame me.
crazy.
Yes, now I can take the moral high ground.
Is the 20% applicable to mystery boxes, or am I just doing something wrong? No, our margins are already so low on their mystery boxes, so you can do a BOGO. That's what's applicable on there. So you can do the free saber on a mystery box. Also, Qui-Gon versus Mace in a fight. I think that would be pretty epic. Qui-Gon versus Mace. I mean, Mace would kill him. Yeah. It would be good. Like, he'd hold his own, but he'd be dead. Yeah. Do you think Vader ending Maul before he could so much as get to Obi-Wan and the Rebels would have been cooler than what they did? Yeah, that was the original plan, right? Vader was supposed to get to Maul, and he was supposed to kill him. It would be cooler, but what feels right is what we got.
Agreed.
You know.
I think Ben needs closure, and it also shows that he's not just some useless hermit as well.
What the fuck is this? Bro, I just said I'm not watching the show. Why you gotta go on and like Theory thinks? I think Theory thinks that thinks he's so cool because he's not watching Andor. LeMayo. The fuck
It's
do you
true.
know what I think?
It's true.
Like-
Theory does message me and say, I'm so much cooler than you guys. And I'm like, what? It's like, have you seen the last 3 episodes? I said, yeah. And he goes, you fucking idiot. I'm so cool. You loser. And I was like, I wish I didn't watch it. What a
Yeah,
loser.
fuck.
I bet you
Yeah.
watched French Aliens, didn't you? And I was like, yes.
I bet you watched French aliens and grandpas macking on each other.
Whew. Love is love.
Oh. You think Vader? Yeah, I'll read this one. I loved when Theory said, "The ones that called us nerds now tell us what Star Wars is." Yeah, it's very true.
But they don't like us either.
When something is written with an agenda in mind, it's frustrating how obvious. It's frustratingly obvious and is a disingenuous use of the IP. If you're not going to enhance George's legacy and do it justice, don't do it.
Agree. Look, I'll give you 2 examples just briefly that are the really good ones. The first is A-Train out of The Boys was white in the comics, and they changed him to that arrogant. That actor is so good, and you can feel that he could be like a dude from Atlanta that became a sprinter, that got a lot of money, that let go of his values and family. It fits so perfectly. The Boys does that kind of stuff really well, right? The other one is The Last of Us. I think that when they had the whole story arc with the Ron Swanson actor, whatever his name is, Nick something, and you know, there was a gay love scene that wasn't in the game, that totally worked. There is ways to do it with great writing and purity, but I feel like when people aren't pure and they're trying to do shock value or engage an audience in a certain way for PR value, check boxes, as Theory says, I feel like you can just feel it and you're like, something's wrong. And it doesn't have to be agenda based. It can be anything, but you just get pulled out and you're like, something's amiss.
Chili Kiwi. Thank you for that, man. Master Chu, what's up? Suleiman, how you doing? For all Andor inconsistency with the design or tone of George Lucas Star Wars, if we don't call out its good qualities, then what will we get in the future? Well, that's what you guys are there for. Call out its good qualities. I don't know why society is hyper-sexed. Revenge of the Sith was freaking amazing in theaters. It felt like nature was healing. Those opening shots and notes were the vibe.
I feel like if I say I want it to be hypersexual, you're going to take me straight to jail, Hightower. Is it a police? What is that movie?
But then if you say you don't want it hypersexualized, you're going to be
put in jail.
What's wrong
I'm
with
joking
you?
because he's got the cop profile picture. No, I agree. I feel like today's modern thoughts shoved into Star Wars don't really work because you can tell and you get pulled out of a galaxy far, far away. You're like, oh, this is 2025. I can feel them talking down to me, morally grandstanding. And that's the biggest problem with Star Wars. It's not if it was some show based in today, I wouldn't think about it. But because it's Star Wars, it's like you were just pushing the agenda.
You guys are my escape. Going through difficult moments in my life right now. George Lucas, Star Wars is one of the only universe where I feel connected. Well, thank you, Stoke Jedi. We all go through shitty times, man. Just trust it will get better. Just got to go through it.
You got this, dude. Stoicism.
All right. Yeah, he did not.
That'd be so awesome if he was like, this is better than my Star Wars.
Well, and look, and even if he would say that, I still would feel the same way about it. It's like, as much as I love George, it's not like if he says something contradictory to how I feel about something, then all of a sudden I'm going to like switch up. Listen, how I feel about something is how I feel about it. I don't care if fucking George Lucas himself tells me I'm wrong. That's how I feel about it.
That's good to know. I feel like people use the argument that you're a George fanboy.
For sure, I am.
Think for yourself. No, but you don't think you have no autonomy. Whatever George says goes. So it's good that you can get that in the clear, so people know that.
Then that's their downfall. A lot of people underestimate me, and then when they speak to me, they get overwhelmed because they're like, "Oh, he's actually quite intelligent." Like, I didn't expect this. You're just some like what people say about you. Well, of course, underestimate me. Go ahead.
That's awesome. It's the opposite for me. People are like, damn, you're dumb.
Don't say that.
You're stupid, man. I don't like this.
I thought you're smart. You're fucking dumb.
Dumb as Mississippi mud.
Hey, Theory. Awesome meeting you in okay. What the fuck? Hey, Theory. Awesome meeting you in San Antonio. I wish they would give us Battlefront 3. Thanks for all you do. I wish they would too. And I'll see you in San Antonio again this year. So looking forward to that. Have you seen the Battlefront 3 game that was left 90% finished? I recommend looking it up. It has scenes that take place in Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I made a whole series about it. Let me take you to my channel real quick.
I'm a mate. I don't know what they're talking. Like, I literally used the latest build on Discord to play it, and it was so insanely broken. Insanely broken. It was nothing like the clips that I've seen.
Where is that playlist? There you go. I have an entire playlist that goes over all of the different concept arts and things that they had for Battlefront 3, as well as for the films and stuff too. But there were a lot of different ideas, such as a white suit Vader. There was a lot of really cool stuff there. But yeah, so I have definitely seen the Battlefront 3 concept art, that's for sure. It's pretty sweet.
I'm out of the closet, baby.
It sounds like you got to come out of the closet there. 2 gay grandpas, you mean episode 3 of The Last of Us?
Yeah, I didn't mind that. I actually thought that was really well written as a love story. I went into it going, oh, great. This is going to be really just,
Episode 3 of The Last of Us had 2 gay grandpas?
Yeah, it was where, I'm not going to describe it, but it was a well-written story. I remember Shane Gillis saying something like he went in and he was like, oh, gay. And then he said he was crying by the end of it. It's written so beautifully. It hooks you in, but just, it's one of those well-written things.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it funny when people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna get him on gay stuff," and then he must be uncomfortable with gay things, and it's like, wait, I'm not a homophobe, dude. I don't care. You just tell me a good story, and they're like, "Oh shit, I can't fucking get him now." Well, anyways, but that's interesting. I didn't know there's 2 gay grandpas, and I didn't watch The Last of Us. I played the games. I'm not a big fan of Pedro. So I don't really watch Like The Last of Us was really, the first one was really amazing. The second one, it really bothered me, and so I'm just not going to go ahead and support the show. And I'm not really a big fan of Pedro, even though he is in The Mandalorian, but not really. It's mostly just John Wayne's grandson. Is Theory Saber's going to be near Illinois? Yeah, we'll be in Chicago in August. Thanks to you both for all you do for Star Wars fans.
Much love.
Appreciate the direction you are going. Disney cannot get anything right, but Star Wars is not dead. We can still celebrate the greatest IP. Yeah, we can. And I'm really enjoying going back to the old style stuff of the channel. It's funny. It's like making stuff. It's like returning to a world which used to be bustling and full of people. It's now apocalyptic. The views on lore videos or behind the scenes, whereas they used to get hundreds of thousands within a day, they now struggle to get 20, 30,000. And to that, I say that Disney has really taken it in a place where people no longer care for that kind of content. People are no longer entranced in the world and the galaxy of Star Wars. They're more so upset, and they want to watch more so creators speak through them by shitting on the thing that has really bothered us, which is what Disney has done. And I totally understand that. That's why when I upload a video about Kathleen Kennedy, it gets like 500,000 views, whereas a lore video, which is what real Star Wars is about, gets maybe 10% of that at most. So I'm still really enjoying it, and I like seeing that really core sect of the fandom interact with those videos, and I love reading those comments because they're all positive, they're all fun, and they're all theorizing on different instances of Star Wars, which is really like what the channel was created on. So it's nice to go back to that, and yeah, that's the direction I've been taking it recently. Respect your call on Andor season 2. No hate needed. Your honesty is where we are. Is why we're here. Keep being real. Your passion is what makes this channel special. Thanks, Ruse. Appreciate that. And you know what? To make it very clear again, I don't despise Andor. I'm just not a big fan of Tony Gilroy, and I'm not a fan of people telling me what to do. So I just don't have to play the game. It's that simple. So I don't have to watch. It's okay. Less sex, more gore, more space violence. No. Less sex, more story, more character development. Hey, Theory, I'm happy you took a stand and said, fuck this, I'm not watching Andor, but if Vader or Maul pops up, do you think you'll be watching at least that episode? Appreciate everything you do. Thanks, Diego. Appreciate that, man. No, if Vader shows up, I won't be watching it. I'll watch a clip on YouTube, but I'm not going to go ahead and watch the episode. I stand by what I say. If I'm not going to watch it, I'm not going to watch it. I'm not interested. Even talking about it too much in today's podcast is more than I intended to do. I think it's weird that Andor is a better show if you take Star Wars out of it. It's not what Star Wars is meant to be at all. How do you feel about that, Dash?
I think I'm 50-50. I enjoy a lot of aspects of the storytelling of Andor. I love the scenery. I think it's like 90% of why I love seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
There's character moment, but you put Forrest Whitaker or what's his name? The guy that plays Luthen, Skarsgård. And like there's some really good characters that I like fleshing out a lot, but there's also a part of me that does
Krennic.
like go Ben Mendelsohn. Like these people captivate me. Even Dedra is amazing, and she voiced the girl out of The Witcher.
Witcher, yeah.
Yeah. But
Genevieve.
and Diego Luna.
Sorry, not Jennifer. Yennefer.
Yeah, Yennefer. There's so many great actors, and there's good story moments, but like 90% of scenery, 90% is random build, and there is like you said, there's aspects of it where it feels like it's dragging itself away from Star Wars, where you think, could this be a better non-Star Wars show? So I'm 50-50, dude. I enjoy it, but I also you feel something off. The radar goes off a little bit.
It's a fantastic space sci-fi.
Look, some of it's
show.
too self-referential. When in the latest episodes, Bix is having flashback to a dude from season 1, but because it's been so long since I've seen season 1, I thought it was the dude that, obviously she shot in the farm planet at the end. I realized it was another interrogation victim. It had been so long since I'd seen season 1. I'm like, oh, I've forgotten. They reference so much back. Like there's a lot of it, like you said, it tries to be very cerebral and intellectual and very HBO, but it just misses the mark in some spots where you're just like, it's good, but it seems to be up its own ass just a little bit where you're like, oh.
I saw some
and the French stuff, like you said, Pablo should have
I want a croissant after this.
Pablo should have put his foot down and said they can speak close to French or Gorm, but they can't look French and they can't have a French plant and they definitely can't wear berets or call themselves the Resistance. Like,
you're expecting Pablo to have some sense when it comes to Star Wars?
No.
Emotions aren't meant for sharing. Don't forget.
Just somebody to have quality assurance to keep it in the realm a little bit more. But yeah, it's good. Okay. And it makes me mad that I like it because of just what Gilroy has just said. It's such a prick thing. Like, anyway.
Yeah, you didn't see those interviews till I showed you, didn't you?
No. So it's just like, what?
Changes shit. Yeah, well, that's the real him. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care.
It's
anyways. Yeah. I just saw the video, so it's coming out Sunday morning. What time? Saw the video. Oh, the saber. At 12 p.m. Eastern or 9 a.m. Pacific. That's when the launch is. You and the team ever going to work on a Thexan or... Oh, yeah. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I'd love to do something like that. In Revenge of the Sith and the Kenobi Annie fight, why were their force push equal? Shouldn't Annie have more force power? He has more force potential. But at that point in time, they were both quite equal when it came to their abilities. And I would theorize that Anakin wasn't fighting Obi-Wan with pure hatred and anger because his eyes weren't Sith red. They weren't Sith yellow. They only were when he was burning. When he was cut in half is when he was using full dark side rage against Obi-Wan. But until then, it was all conflict. He was fighting his brother. He was trying to kill him, but he wasn't using everything. He was holding back. And
Kenobi
it was only until he was cut. What's that?
Kenobi taught him that. So as the master, he also would anticipate and know how to kind of push things back around, He's a master of defense. I feel like that's a huge play into it.
Yeah, that's his fighting style was Sarisu, was to defend, and Anakin's more on the offense. And so they knew each other. They would duel all the time, but in training, and so they knew each other's moves like the back of their hands. And this was described in the book, so it was like it was so fast because they knew what their moves were. They had been training for a decade. So imagine trying to fight someone that you've been practicing with as your best friend for over 10 years, and then all of a sudden now it's for real. It's going to be difficult. But even then, he still wasn't. I don't think he was put into the dark side. He wasn't. When he was killing the separatists, he had Sith eyes. But he didn't when he was fighting Obi-Wan. Used Anakin joining Palpatine to study joinder in law school today. How far do y'all think Disney will go in terms of sexuality before it's too much? Used Anakin joining Palpatine to study joinder. Do we have any lawyers in the chat? Any attorneys? What's joinder? Interesting. How far will they go? How low can you go? I don't know.
A lot of aliens.
Yeah, let's see some aliens, man. Have either of you watched Severance? There's some gay characters in there. No, what show is this? Never seen Severance. Have you?
No.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
I'm like, I know. Let's go.
Corazon says, lawyer here, it's gibberish. Oh, no, he says JK. I don't know. All right. You haven't seen Severance? No. What'd I just say? What'd I just say? What'd I just tell you? No. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it could be great storyline with Gag. That's not the argument. The argument is Star Wars is just focusing not on story. They're trying to push agendas and hire people to do that. It's just a weird thing versus focusing on good move. Look, we wouldn't even have this conversation if all of this stuff was in it, but they made really amazing movies for the last 10 years. Nobody would care. They wouldn't be doing press runs about it. They would be just saying, look how awesome we are. You can't wait, to consume the next film. But they're not, because they're not making the greatest stuff. So they're relying on these hot.
How many likes for you to send me a saber? 50,000. Have either of you read the Jedi Knights comic series? No.
I believe yes. If it's a part of the Dark Horse pack, I 100% would have. Oh no, it's the new ones. No.
I'm gonna call me a kid, but I've read a lot more comics than I have books. A lot more Star Wars comics than I have books. Have you ever thought of having Theory Sabers make mini sabers for hot toy figures? Yeah, we've thought of doing 0.45 scale replicas, but maybe later down the road. What do you think would happen if Anakin was chosen to go to Utapau instead of Obi-Wan? I mean, I've made videos on that. I think that would be pretty cool. I think Anakin would definitely have a much different time fighting Grievous.
Yeah,
I think he would have killed him. I think he would have just absolutely killed him. There. Now, of course, typos. God damn it. Right there. What if Anakin went to Utapau with Obi-Wan? Wait. I know I've done one with just Anakin. There we go. What if Anakin fought General Grievous? Oh, but I worded it differently. Yeah. Yeah, so this in this fan fiction, he goes to Utapau and he fights Grievous. Yeah. A long time ago, 5 years ago, September 17th, 2019. 1 million views. Oh, that was part of my battle series, right. Man, I forgot a lot of the videos I made. You ever do that, bro? You sometimes go back and you're like, I made this?
Yeah. But usually I cringe internally. Oh, I made that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Let me get a show of hands just real quick. Have you subscribed in the last 1 year? Type 1. If it's been 2 years, type 2. And then years, going to 9. Almost 9. It's not even 9. I keep saying 9, but it's not yet. Need the what? The titty check? Oh, wow. Yeah.
Total Recall. God, my kid mind was blown. Blown.
Wow, there's a lot of OGs. I haven't seen a single one yet. Huh. 8, 6, 7, 5, 8. Wow. 66. Nice. What's the Aussies channel? Oh my god. Dash Star. Dash Star. Yeah. You guys know that I'm very grateful to all of you, right? I just hope you know that. You guys are always on my mind. The people who have really made this. Anyways, let's continue. Hey, Theory, I just want to thank you for what you do for the Star Wars community. My dog died. Oh, fuck. Thanks for helping me cheer up tonight. I'm really sorry to hear that, bro. There's nothing like losing a pet, a best friend. It's really nothing like it. Very sorry to hear that. Severance is another slow-ass show that Theory probably wouldn't care for. Thank you, Alex. Says Dash Theory. I'm developing a short story in the form of a comic with Anakin. It will be a rendition of the 05 Clone Wars arc where Anakin is in the cave and has a vision. Only in my version, he'd be facing his true self. Thoughts? Ooh, his future self. That'd be cool if, like, during the fight, you could have them have a dialogue with each other, being like, you know, kind of asking questions about his like future self. Would they be fighting, or would they just be like speaking with each other? Because if they're speaking with each other, then that's pretty trippy.
Yeah, I think a Mortis arc. As soon as you say that, and I think
Reminds me of this. I had a friend who was like acclaimed hypnotist, and they actually ended up like putting me in a bit of a trance. But I was like fully aware of where I was years ago. This was like when I was 20.
I don't think they could ethically do that to somebody they're friend. Anyway, maybe it's only family members.
It wasn't a family, no.
No, I mean, I always thought that you weren't allowed to do it because my mum can do hypnotherapy, and I was like, put me under, and she's like, I can't do that. And I was like,
No, it wasn't therapy. It was like anyway, she like basically made me go into this place where I was at the table with like a bunch of my other selves. It was really interesting. A bunch of my other selves from the past. And they were all they all had no, and they all were giving me a gift, but they were all telling me something to remember. And then there was one from the future. And this was a long ass time.
That's
ago.
awesome.
It was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience.
Amazing what the subconscious can conjure.
Mm-hmm. Or even beyond the Shadow Realm. Would you recommend a Profi or SNV4 for swinging, dueling? Any three will be my first lightsaber. For swinging and dueling, I mean, pretty equal in that sense, but in terms of functionality, I mean, Profi is light years ahead of SNV. And by the way, 4, it's Pro now, so we upgrade all the 4s to Pro, which means it's capable with our new app, the Force Park V2 app, so you can like do everything on the phone if you want it. But we also have button guides on the site. But a Profi will be able to have all of the different animations that come with all of our fonts that Kyberphonic and Blue Mamba have programmed specifically for you guys. So everything down to like the flicker effect, to the ignition effect, like we've taken all of that into Accord, and those are maximized on the Profi, whereas the SNV, you will still see some of them, but they won't be as like beautiful and I would say mind-blowing as they would on the Profi. So like for example on the Kaboom, on the SN it just goes, but on the Profi it goes slowly and then it's pulsating, and you get this it's such a beautiful look to think about it. Look at that right there. It's right on the Kaboom. You see that? See that beautiful pulsation? and try to get the. There's just a lot of effects on the Profi that you don't get with the SN. So like a lot of the flame stuff people like, they're like, oh, is this only Profi? I'm like, yeah. But as for swinging and dueling, you won't notice much of a difference. Saw Rise of Skywalkers. Oh, are you trying to say Revenge of the Sith? Be careful now. ROS, they tried to make that Rise of Skywalker. Revenge of the Sith in theaters again. The opening crawl put me in a time capsule when my dad took me to the movie as a kid. I miss him, but grateful to have had a loving dad, and Revenge of the Sith to reconnect to my childhood. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to re-see it. Was I saw it with my dad too, and I like that to be the memory, you know. And but I can imagine, it's probably a very beautiful experience to see it again in theaters.
Can't believe I saw it with my dad too. It must be a thing.
Yeah. Did he introduce you to Star Wars too?
No, he didn't give a shit. He was like, get out of here. When I told him I wanted to do YouTube, he was like, I don't watch YouTube. I have a life. And I was like, oh, that's the end of that conversation. The only thing I've ever heard him say that he likes is Doctor Who, which I'm not into. And Frank Herbert, is it? Or June? He read the June novels, but he's very supportive of me now and all of the stuff. And he like messaged me when Carrie Fisher passed and was like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, wow, it's a huge thing for him, but he just does not give a shit. None of my family, bar me, none of my family. I used to tell my brother, I'd walk behind him and tell him as we're going to the milk bar to get like food about stuff like this. And he'd be like, shut up. Like nobody cared.
Fuck.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough.
What about you? Your dad introduced you?
Yeah. Both my parents were really into it. I just remember I loved movies as a kid, and my dad was like, you know, I remember both my parents talking about how special Star Wars was. There's a movie called Star Wars, and I was just like, it's from the 70s, they would say. And I'm like, holy shit, that must be so old, because by the time I saw it, it was 1996 or 1995 or something like that. And I was expecting it to be like some I don't know, like what Star Trek was.
Right.
You know, but like with
the only
Captain
problem was
Kirk
they had the dickish 70s haircuts, but that's it. Everything else was
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
What was your favorite back in the day?
Favorite what?
The OT, which
I really liked Empire.
I was Return as a kid. I frothed everything in Return. Not the Ewoks as much, but I loved the Andor scene where he fights the speeder bike, just the trip, like deflecting the bolts and shit. I
love that too. Yeah,
escaping, Jabba's sail barge and Boba. I don't know. There's just as I get older, it's Empire, but I don't know. Return was.
I don't know. I loved both of them. I know I loved. I mean, me and my dad watched 4 nonstop. We had a few movies that we would just basically rotate on. So it was it was either Back to the Future, it was any sort of action Macho Man movie from the 80s or 90s. Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold.
That's why you gotta love. If Stallone posts on Instagram, I see Theory likes it he loves Stallone.
Stallone is my idol. I love Stallone. I think as a man, as a visionary, as a creative, just the battles he's been through life, all the shit that he's had to deal with. He looks fucking phenomenal. He's in shape. His mind is strong. He's made some of the most amazing movies. He can tell great stories. He can move an audience. He's a father. He's a husband.
He comes from nothing. He doesn't have the look.
Yeah.
And it didn't stop him as well. He wasn't dealt the best cards, but he just went, I'm going to brute force this.
Yeah, I think he is such a stand-up cool guy. I don't know him personally, but I like everything that he's done on a professional level.
Agreed. He's pretty someone to look up to, definitely.
Yeah, I would love to be at even near that level when I'm his age. I think that would be that's definitely a benchmark for me, someone I look up to.
I'm going to say something, and I'm not proud of this, but
Yeah,
we're opening up. I've always been a fan of Arnold. I loved his career, from the bodybuilding to
yeah,
the acting to obviously becoming governor and whatever. And I read his autobiography, and obviously, him in Infidelity and Wife, I can't judge him, because you can't imagine what that power looks like all the temptation being number one. Like, I'm not judging the man, but I
no,
found during the coronavirus thing, when he said, screw your freedoms, I found that so jarring. It actually pulled me away from him. But I'm like, everybody gets to make a mistake. If I I say shit all the time on the internet. I want grace, but I didn't give him grace for a couple of years. I just didn't want to know him for a while. I'm like, freedom of speech and freedom, like, you of all people should know, coming from a tyrannical rule of Germany in the time, and your dad, what he did, he was a cop, and anyway, I had a lot of trouble, but then I'm like, I need to learn how to give other people grace. I think that was a hard one for me with Arnold.
yeah, that was a hard one for me too. Seeing him say that, I was just like, man, you've become such a politician.
Right.
Like, you were my hero growing up. What the hell? And but what can I say? I just see him now as the amazing movies that he did. He did amazing for his life. I mean, there is no one on this earth that will. Oh, no, I don't want to say will, but that has really done and conquered all of the things that he's done. Bodybuilding, movies, politics. I mean, like, what the hell?
Right. But
That's
the
crazy.
whole career, the whole thing, loving him so much, and he says one thing,
And then he says
I'm
that.
off him for a bit.
Well, he said one thing though that is like not okay. Like,
Right. But I
what do you mean
should still give him
screw
credit.
your
Like,
freedoms? Like, what do you mean? What are we talking about? No, dude, come on, don't be a politician now.
I agree. I just think I should preach because I think my life is literally a series of mistakes with a couple of wins in the middle. I think that's most people. And if you're in the limelight for 50, 40,
Yeah.
whatever years, you should be able to make a mistake. And then for me to not just be like, that's it, like everything he's done, all the joy, and to just be soured on him. I was like, I need to work on giving people grace. As whack, like, I'm a bit of a libertarian. I like people's freedom. I don't want a government.
Me too. Yeah, no, of
over
course.
me. So I was like, oh man, I really rubbed me the wrong way. But again, he could have just been passionate about the vaccine at the time and thought it was the best thing. And you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to divorce the art from the artist, and being like people with you, like, you had one take they don't like about a show and you're the devil, like that kind of stuff, that kind of grace that I don't give others, but I want.
Yeah, but
It's crazy.
I'm not Arnold, man. I'm nowhere near Arnold. So those are a bunch of crazies that have a problem with one guy having an opinion on a show, which in hindsight I see so much more than they do when it comes to the rules with Star Wars. But we're talking about Arnold talking about, screw your freedoms. I mean,
He probably
That's a
regrets the shit out of it, though. I'm saying, like, you're probably not a great example, but I'm saying, like, we've all said things we regret on the internet. On a long enough timeline, you're going to see yourself
Yeah.
become the villain in some aspect, because we're not perfect. But I
No, I
treated
know,
him as if he is perfect, if that makes sense. Like, he can't say shit that dumb.
Well, there's dumb shit, but then there's shit that's like encroaching on people's freedoms, and it's like literally to
I
say
know.
screw your freedom. And I saw Brian Shaw take down his poster. I saw everybody take down his wall art, his posters, and I mean shit. Like, there can be sometimes one thing that you say that is just not acceptable, despite of all the good that you've done. If you start to encroach on people's freedoms or their freedom to choose, fuck. That's just like that's tough,
Yeah.
dude.
I agree. I think I need to work on practicing what I preach, because if I said what he said and I realized I was a dumbass, then I would hope
I don't
people would
think
realize.
I don't think you would ever say screw your freedoms to people who
Uh,
want to have a choice on what they put in their body.
I don't know. I've said some pretty dumb stuff in my life where I look back and I just cringe. I think that's the crux of the argument. Is I look back at who I was 10 years ago or 20 years ago and I cringe at the dumbassery shit, things I've said or whatever. And I go, man, you had a lot to learn. And even at his age, he might look back in 10 years and go, that was the dumbest, the worst mistake I've ever made. So I'm just saying I try and give my idols, like people that I respect, a little more grace.
How do you deal with Mark Hamill?
Again, I think Mark Hamill is passionate and he believes he's right. And separating the art from the artist, I think that he's a great artist and he's a phenomenal voice actor, and I'm obsessed with voice acting. I think that he believed when Biden was in that what he was saying was right. But I do believe Americans compared to Australians, and I'm not trying to, I love America. I love Americans. I don't mind if you're left or right. I really don't. But I believe there is a level where it becomes fanaticism, where you're not really making sense anymore. You're not talking about, he never talks about policy or anything. He just who's the guy, not Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, where they're like, I'm leaving the country and F this person at award shows. Stuff like that, where you're taking it to award shows and screeching. I'm like, this isn't helping anyone. You're not giving the other side grace. And so I think that there is a level where they're unhinged. But if you look at Mark Hamill when he's not talking about politics, he's charming, he's likable, he's funny.
Yeah, sure.
So you go, I feel bad. I go, how did you get here where you think it's okay to dismiss half an audience? I know you think you're doing the right thing, but you're really shitting on people, and you're treating them as if they're stupid. And I don't think that that's fair, but
I think it's cool to discuss things politically, but when it gets to the point of like you're basically vilifying one half of a political spectrum, whether it be liberal or conservative, I think that's when you've lost the mark. And I've seen him do that. I've seen him literally insinuate that like anyone who votes conservative or conservatives are the dark side, are evil, are some horrible things, like compared to the empire itself. And I'm like, man, like, how do you just put everyone in a box? Every human's different. Some people might pick and choose. They have some things that they like about one party, one thing. You're telling us 8 billion people on Earth or whatever, or how many? Let's just talk about America. They fall into two categories. That's it. Two main categories. That's all they fall into. No, but everybody has different ideas, different beliefs, and there might be some things that they like from each political party. But you can't just like brush everyone. Oh, you're this, so that you like the acolyte, you're liberal. You don't like the acolyte, oh, you are racist, sexist. You are a homophobe. You are just brush them with that. I think that's just wrong. You can't.
And it's funny because you and I come from countries that don't technically have freedom of speech. We don't have that in our constitution. Well, if you did, it's gone. We don't have it, and
but they pretend they do. Yeah,
we pretend we do too till the shit gets hard.
The most free country in the world.
Right. We talk a lot of shit, but I feel like Americans take for granted. And I'm sorry if this is an offense. I loved living in America and I had no problems. But I think they take for granted their freedom of speech, where they think that they're more oppressed in it than they are. And so they become more, or maybe because they have it, they become more incendiary is my word of the day. They just really attack the other side. And they believe if the other side have any of their opinions are encroaching on their freedom. And I'm like, no, the fact that you have two sides is freedom. You want to talk about like, no freedom, go to like our country's a step down, go steps down, like go live in China, like, and see what you can say. Like the fact that you can say it is indicative of freedom itself. Now, whether you believe that your government does have like the elections aren't rigged or whatever, I don't know, but I do believe that we're lucky to have even the two-party system, though I don't think that that's preferable. You've sent a comment.
I'm not gonna comment. I live in Canada. I can't comment anymore.
Oh yeah. But yeah,
I can't comment on anything. I just laugh. I can just smile.
That's wild, dude. That's
yeah.
wild. You know, and the funny thing is, here I laugh about that, but like, if shit went sideways in Australia, I promise you, do you see those clips of people getting locked up for social media posts or called out for liking a post? That's
Yeah.
that you're just like, what?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I've already made some posts in the past, like when before Carney got elected, and shit, I don't know, maybe they're gonna show up at my door. Freedom of speech doesn't
1984
really
style?
exist. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I think America. It's baffling to me that someone like Mark Hamill, number one, can alienate the audience and think that they're stupid or bad people. Because I don't think either side are innately stupid. I think there's like a sliver of fanatics on any side, really. But to do that, but also to think that he's like you said, the Jedi and the dark side, and he's oppressed, and they act like the world's going to blow up if the person that they want doesn't get in at all time. Like, it's literally going to blow up. Like, everything's going to end. And I'm like, it hasn't yet, right? Maybe they're right. Maybe it will. I don't know. But it's just crazy to me to talk down to half your audience. I'd say that's the crux of my argument.
Yeah, that's horrible. You talk down to anybody. I mean, everyone should be supportive of freedom of will, freedom of rights, as long as it's not hurting anybody else. In Arnold's case, screw your freedoms when it comes to what you put into your body. I don't agree with that. I think that's wrong. If you want to inject yourself with some sort of a vaccine, that's up to the person, right? Freedom of choice. It's your body. You own that. Like, you decide what goes in it. But then to like put it on this whole, I don't want to get into this discussion here, especially with Carney as president or prime minister. I could say the wrong thing and I'll be behind bars. No, thank you. I'm good. I'm not gonna fuck with that. Hey guys, huge fan. Curious, what do you want to see from Maul show? We've never really seen Maul as a teacher or someone except Ezra or Savage for 2 secs. Real curious on his mind as a teacher. I personally, I wanted to see Son of Dathomir. But if we're going to see Maul now in this show and he's going to be training Talon, what we think is Talon, I think that'll be pretty cool.
Agreed. A lot of potential.
Yeah. Move to America? Yeah, well, I will. I'm in process of getting my visa, so. And then from there is the green card after that, and yeah, so. I disagree. I find it problematic to have LGBTQ plus characters in the franchise geared towards children. It confuses children at such an impressionable age. Fuck, bro. You putting me in a spot with this new prime minister where I can't even talk on the matter. Okay. Anyone who wants to argue that, try being in my position of having a YouTube channel that's somewhat sizable. There are things I can't talk, and until I'm on American soil, I can't really. I don't want to risk it. Fair enough. So. Come on, Maul would have smoked Obi-Wan in episode 1, but his ego took over like yours sometimes. Oh, okay. Can you give me some examples?
It's just like this little backhanded little dig at the end.
No, just give me some examples. We can talk about it. Is he still in the chat or no? All right. Started re-listening to... It's Revenge of the Sith. ROTS. And once episode 9 came around, made it very confusing because people would just say ROS and you'd know it says Revenge of the Sith. But now you have to put the T. It's annoying. And I forgot just how good it shows Anakin's fall. He's running off fumes, exhausted, not sleeping. He's not the same man from when the war started. Tragic. Yep, I'm making a video compilation of different episodes right now for going over the book and the film. It's quite different. I need to calcast this movie. Well, we're hoping there's going to be in Ahsoka too, right? There would be no talking. It would be a straight fight with sprinkles of voice from Obi, Pat, Ahsoka, young Annie, and Shmi. Interesting. Wonder how you're going to do that. Are you going to play the Star Wars Fortnite chat? Yeah, probably. I'll play it on the gaming channel or something. Just clicked on what's the bad news. That Respawn is they like got rid of a shit ton of their team. That's Jedi Fallen Order. Took my girl to see Revenge of the Sith at the same theater I saw it for the first time 20 years ago. It was special. Do you think Ahsoka 2 should be in theaters? I do. No, not if it's a show. If it's a movie, then yeah. Nice to see you again, Nick. Mariana says, Theory, what's your reaction to the Liberals winning? Do you think that Dash takes a swig of? Do you think that after 10 years of Trudeau disaster, people would vote for change? Do you have any plans to move to the USA? Yeah, let me just say I do have plans to move to the USA, and I've been making moves to move to the USA for a while now. So the only thing that has kept me here is the cost of Vader. It's very expensive. So when I say $1 million, I mean $1 million US, and then of course there's taxes on that. So you're looking at something that's like probably closer to 2 million US, which is really like 3.5, almost 4 million Canadian.
Oof.
So it's yeah. When you start tacking on the tax and you start tacking on the conversion rate, it equates to being about $3.5 million. So it's not easy.
Oh,
Yeah. No one really gives me fucking credit for this massive undertaking. It's taking so long. You do it. Theory, I just got my second Pixel Saber from Theory Sabers. I love them. I have a question. If I buy an Apprentice mystery box, does the free Saber code get me another Apprentice mystery or just another normal free? Hold on. Let me read this properly. If I buy an Apprentice mystery box, does the free Saber code get me another Apprentice? It doesn't get you another Apprentice mystery box. It gets you another mystery Saber. So of all the box tiers, it'll get you one of those. You see what I'm saying? So we have a completely different algorithm that computes what your Saber will be for mystery boxes each, but then also for the free Saber, like the BOGOs that we do, that's a completely different system in and of itself, because then you have a much bigger range of Sabers to select from and the probability within there. But you will get another Saber. Some people get a replica Profi. Some people get a SDRGB. It's still going to be badass. What would you recommend for a beginner? I would like to install Attack on Titan as a sound ignition. I thought he was talking about like what game he would want to play. As a sound ignition, the Titan. What would you recommend for a beginner? If you're talking about Saber, I would get anything that's an SN or a Profi. But for the font package, I mean, you would have to go to Kyberphonic or somewhere else to find that font. I could talk to him and be like, "Are you going to make a Attack on Titan something?" Do a video what life was like comparing the Republic to the Empire. Rules and regulations. What was more supported? Was there more law and order under either, or did citizens prefer either? That's a very interesting video topic, actually.
great one.
Shout out to Russ.
Russ Klinger.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool video topic. I'm going to take a picture of that.
Yeah. Reminds me of that what did Vader do in his free time kind of level of how to citizens enjoy it in these, because it makes you think.
It does, yeah. It's really cool. It's like, well, what's it like for everyday people, you and me? Well, I mean, all of us would be Jedi or Sith or Mandalorians. So.
Things were more regulated, and I was having fun on the Imperial planet.
Pretty
then
cool.
Operation Cinder happened. Just look up. Ah!
Yeah. No, that's pretty sweet, dude. That's a cool idea. I like that. Thanks, Russ. You making a vid on the Dual King Saber? So cool. Yeah. Bro, I made it last night. It's up on the site right now. If you want to go check it out, it's already there. For and I sent out the newsletter today. Some of you might have not have gotten it yet, but yeah. So we have our sale, and if you go down, The Dual King is here, and you can see the video. The video is already there, but it literally run it over.
No way.
Yeah. There is nothing like this, dude. There is nothing like this on the market. It is the most indestructible stainless steel made for duelists. Like, okay, check this shit out.
How did you even come up with this shit?
Well, I mean, that's just something duelists have wanted for a long time. I remember talking with my buddy Mike Starwalker when we were in Texas for SpaceCon, and he was like, "Yeah, I'd really like it if there was a thing underneath." And then talking with Nick, and he's like, "Oh, all mine have it underneath." It's like, that's otherwise you turn it off. I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah." And then, so this has nothing to do with Nick, but I'm making one with Nick Gillard. We're actually making two, and that's been in the works for the last 4 to 5 months. A lot of trial and error. Nick is very, very particular, as he should be, but it's turning out very, 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 very nice. And that one's going to be pictures of the Nick Gillard one. No,
this one right here. Like if you go across, I'm seeing some. Yeah. See, this is something that I would use.
So what we did was this can be taken off. This is all stainless steel. You can take these 2 bits off. These are weights, and you can take that guard here off as a weight as well. It's a thick piece of stainless steel. And those all work as weights or counterbalances depending on what your preference is and what you like. I personally like it without. I take all of them off, and that's what I have in the video.
What do you call the top one? The tang, and that's where the natural. If you put your finger on a sword, it should balance just past there or whatever it is. Is that so? It's pulling it down to make it more natural.
So check this out. So there's somewhere where I'm balancing it, right? I think around here. I like balance it on my fingers. Somewhere on the video. Shit, where is it? What the hell?
A lot of twirling.
Yeah, it's just that one's such a nice one to twirl.
Yeah, I imagine. Where's the weight distribution go? The middle or?
It's perfectly balanced in the middle. I'm trying to get to that freaking shot where I'm literally balancing it on like 2 fingers. Right there. Yeah. Yeah, right in the middle.
That's like the perfect saber too for functionality.
It is. It's really nice, and it's got that nice knurling. Anyways, yes, Air Force West. There is a video on it. You can see it already on the site, and then I'll upload it on Sunday. But that one's limited to 300 pieces.
What do you mean 300? You're only making 300?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. If you do a theory vid sometime soon, would like a what if General Grievous led Order 66? Oh, you mean instead of Dooku? Oh, no, wait. What do you mean led? Like, instead of Anakin? Execute Order 66. Think a canon version of Cade Skywalker ever happens? No. What would make a great font? Would Mortal Kombat say, "Get over here," with a little pause, then a quick ignition of a glowing red saber? That would be pretty cool. Get over here. That'd be cool. I like that. I wonder if Jesse has those on his site. I don't know. Yeah. A show of hands, how many of you saw Revenge of the Sith over the last week in theaters? You just type 1 or whatever. Spam something. But I'm curious. And the poll is 3,206 people have voted. 72% say yes, they want to see Mace Windu return. 28% say no, we don't. So the people who say no, I wonder why. Do you think his story's done? Like, there's no point to see him? Or is there any other reason? Okay, decent number of you. Yeah. Don't really care about seeing a movie I've seen before. Hope we see it soon. Think would be interesting. Also, why did the Republic never go after the Hutts for the slavery and whatnot? Always wondered why. They probably just didn't want to deal with it, man. The Hutts deal with their own stuff in their own planets, in their own sect of space, and they're so powerful. I feel like that they just did not want to get involved with the biggest mafia. I would
Also
imagine.
in the Plagueis novel, I mean, Jabba and shit, what's his cousin or whatever, the female Garjula? I can't remember which one.
Gardula the Hutt?
No, there was another one, and he was in a turf war, and Jabba ends up coming out on side. He helps out Plagueis and Palpatine's like, oh, they're useful. Like, criminals have a use, like bounty hunters and criminals for the Empire, where you don't have to rule them, but you can still use them, you know? I think Palpatine valued that because it's, you know, a dark sider doesn't really care that they're criminals as long as they're effective, and there's always going to be a criminal element. So why not have the element that you can control?
I'm just trying to talking about criminals. I mean, you know, talk about the government.
What's good? He wants to see the inside of a Canadian prison.
I was gonna say, open up. We know you're in there. Watching your stream right now.
Because they do that shit too in our countries, which is it's the dumb, and they
Open up.
You see the people go, you're gonna lock me up over a social media post, and they're like, on the 18th of April you said this and you're coming with us, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yo, brother, man. What up, Master Stevo? Thank you for that big super chat. Also, I see that Yoda is taking a freaking fatty rip on his bong. Are you going to have some cool deals going on at the Dallas Fan Expo? I may want to get 2 sabers now. Also, Revenge of the Sith was looking good 20 years later. Yeah, the movie's timeless. It's going to look good in another 20 years. Yeah, we'll have some deals. We will, absolutely. In person, my friend. Saw Revenge of the Sith in 4DX was kind of distracting, to be honest. Is that where the seats are moving?
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those.
I can barely do VR. Can you imagine?
I'm not a fan of
space
those.
battle. I'd be like Obi-Wan. Flying is for droids. I have a malfunctioning chair.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's like when we're still flying half a ship. Holy shit!
Smash into the front of the thing.
That's all right.
Another happy landing.
Theory love you, bro. However, I will die on the hill of I will wait for the Palpy Saber re-release. No other color variant. May start a petition. Damn, bro. Yeah, so many emails. We got so many emails of people being like, I really wanted one. I'm being nice. Some of them were pretty mean. They were like, how could you release only 200 of this? Do you not want sales? Like, and we're like, bro, like we didn't know. Okay. Like, should we reopen it again? Like, I don't know. But that's the point of a limited edition. It's limited. We're not going to be like dickheads, be like limited to the number we can sell you. No, hell no. It is limited. When we say 200, we mean 200. I mean, that's the point of it. But shit, I mean, I hear you. We hear you. Maybe we can look. The Nick Gillard one will do 500 count. All right. And then maybe going in the future, we can start to look at more like the Dual King. We're doing 300 instead of the 200. So like Disney would mess up Mace's character. Let's just say everyone loves that design so much. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? Hey, shit. Because Palpatine is the main character like Vader, Luke, Annie, I'd be down for regular box, no number.
He's like, just glad wrap it. Send it to me for the love of
Just
God. Put it in a
fucking
bread.
Well, and ours is the best one on the market, man. It's made of solid brass. I've compared it next to a Master Replicas. I've compared it to an 89 Sabers. It is peak. It is the nicest one. You unscrew the thing. You don't have to use any Allen key. Take out the chassis. It's hollow. The whole chassis is just sitting right there. None of them have that. They're all wires and shit. Clean. Yeah, well. And now he's bragging about it. Yeah, well, you started talking. God damn it. Hey, sorry, bro. You missed out, baby. All right. You can still buy mine. $50 million. You know, I'd say my most prized possession is my Palpatine lightsaber from Master Replicas that Ian McDermott held and signed. And I have the authenticity sticker on it. He signed it and he said, do it on it. He wrote, do it. I think it is probably the only one in the world. It must be a one of one. What would that go for? You know what? It doesn't even matter what it would go for. I would probably sell it for... I don't even know if I would sell it. Because Palpatine is a main... I read this one. Hey, bro, Photoshop guy, Guille. Hey, what's up, Guille? Long time. Still have hopes on Ahsoka. I'm on the new stuff supportive side, but I'd love everyone to be for it. Yeah, I'd love everyone to be for it, too, if it's good. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah. Don't know. Don't know if it's going to be good. Don't have much hope left in the things that they've been doing, but I still do have a little bit. If it's good, it's good, you know? At least that's one thing you guys can always count on me for. It's like, if it's good, I'll tell you what I think. If it's bad, I'll tell you what I think. And by no means is that, speaking for everyone. No plans of yet. It would go for 6,600. So since Theory Hill, it'd be 66 cents. Damn.
Ice cold.
Damn, bro. Crazy. Archon Saber is badass. It is. Truly is. All right. Well, hey, I think anything else to add, Dash?
Oh, we've got one more screen, which has to do with Disney. I've shared. I don't think we've discussed this.
Oh, Logan. Thank you. Hey, Theory, I can't wait to see Vader 2 and 3. Your first one led me to changing majors in college. What? Wow. Majoring in film? Man. Thank you for showing me any. Dude, what? That's like a life change, man. Holy smokes.
Logan, infiltrate Lucasfilm.
Yeah, man. Do it for me, please.
Make some
and then when you're there, just be like, there was a fan film one day I saw, and it gave me hope that if he can do it, so can I. Well, thank you so much, man. That's extremely generous, and we both appreciate it. Hey, I guess we don't have to share tonight's super chats with Stoops.
He's probably watching this in bed.
Guys, I don't feel good.
Don't worry about next week, Stoop, baby.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We got it.
So the article reads, Jon Favreau speaks out on the Mandalorian Season 4's replacement. Have you heard about this?
No.
No? Okay. So basically, let me get in there. Oh, I just plussed the wrong screen. Looks like I'm going to get kicked out next week. What's really happening with the Mandalorian Season 4? Let's go through. Oh, hello. I was looking.
What are you looking at, buddy?
Yeah, better. So Kathleen Kennedy praised Favreau and Filoni's work, saying Jon Favreau. If you got an IQ above 140,
we can't just glaze over that. That's hilarious.
Let's have a look.
That's
They're the
okay,
cheap Asian clothes that don't fit.
bro.
And this one's this one will tell me I've got an IQ above 140 if I pay $12 once I do the IQ quiz. You know how they go.
Yeah.
Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have ushered into Star Wars 2 new and beloved characters. Okay, they're still glazing. But with the announcement of the movie, Mandalorian and Grogu, came uncertainty. Would the film take the place of season 4? And what of Filoni's planned crossover film tying together the Mandalorian or the Mandoverse? For a time, the answer was hard to come by. But in 2024, they said instead of a 4th season, Disney decided to pivot The Mandalorian to launch its first Star Wars feature film since The Rise of Skywalker, the outlet reported, which we know that it's taken over the season 4. Cool. But according to a report from the In Snyder, The Mandalorian season 4 may not be dead at Disney Plus, the director wrote. He noted that the follow-up remains in development for streaming, but The Mandalorian and Grogu will arrive first in theaters, which is actually interesting that they're still going to do it possible. Because I thought it was actually going to be the film and then maybe they do more films tying together. But the fact that they might circle back is pretty wild. Like, who does season movie in the theaters season? That's
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened there. I think someone came in and they had, too many cooks in the kitchen with season 3. I don't think it was John's idea to do half of that shit. And if it was, I mean, geez, like, what a way to switch up from your trajectory of season 1 and season 2. That's insane. Like, what? Like, what?
No.
It makes no sense. Like, logically, it makes no sense. It logically it doesn't make any sense to go from season 1 and 2, the way he had it, the way he shot it, the way he structured it, the dialogue, the characters, to then just switch into some lazy garbage of season 3 with these just no focus anywhere on really anything. It's just you jump into different characters and this and that. It starts off a little strong and then it just what the he probably had a completely different script. Once Grogu's gone, he's gone. We have to deal with Mando and doing his thing. And then Kathy's like, no, we need to bring him back. So then we have Boba Fett, Mando show come in.
You know what it feels like? It feels like if you're like watching a video on Fortnite and then you get mid-roll ads for Fortnite because your targeted audience. It's like the money man at Disney went, what if, wait. So we're making a Mando show. What if we had ads for other shows in the Mando show? And he's like, but that will screw up my narrative structure. And they're like, shut the fuck up. Now you're going to do Ahsoka, you're going to do Boba Fett, and you're going to sell the shit out of this or you don't get any more after this. And he's like, I guess I can make it work by shoehorning it in and ruining everything.
It's unfortunate. It really is because it's like, yeah.
It's going to be wild to see, though, a movie. Imagine a person who hasn't seen the TV series jump to the movie and then jump and be like, oh, I got to go back and watch the seasons to then catch up for the new season. Like, it's too much fuckery.
My clones.
Crazy.
Whack a doodle. Thank you again, Logan. We appreciate it, bro.
Much love.
Do you think Anakin would have eventually learned dark side powers, like Bane killing his dad? Like Bane killing his dad. If Annie stayed a slave. What?
Like, so Bane, when he was like a kid, killed his father through a heart attack through sheer hate and the Force. Can you imagine Watto being like, Annie, you clean up. He's just dying. Anakin's
Do you think Anakin would have eventually learned dark side powers like Bane if Annie? Oh, I see what you're saying.
Intuition.
Oh, so no. So in the book Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader, Vader had a thought to himself of like what would have happened if Qui-Gon had never found him. He would have just gone on to be a #1 pod racer in the galaxy. That would have been his life because he would have had the Force. He could foresee like movements and stuff ahead of time, and he just would have been a champion rider. That's it.
Wow. Developed a death sticks problem.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have bought his mum out of slavery. It actually doesn't sound like a bad, except for the Empire. You're like, who gives a shit about the Empire? I'm rich, baby. My mum's looked after.
Yeah, wouldn't matter. And Maul and Dooku would probably continue to be like the main guys. But the thing is, like that Palpatine and Plagueis, they observed him for a long time. Well, Plagueis did. He saw him on Tatooine. We're actually releasing a short, like an animated short. Should be the next week or so, about Plagueis having observed Anakin on Coruscant.
It's amazing.
He's watching him for a while.
Amazing how much Palpatine would have been screwed without Plagueis, and how instrumental Plagueis was. And then Palpatine says it himself when he's electrifying him. He does his speech. The fact that it doesn't seem shoehorned in, the novel could have gone so poorly if it was like, I'm the puppet master Plagueis, tee-hee-hee, and then Sidious was an idiot, but they played it so well that you were just mesmerized the whole time about how he was orchestrating these events behind the scenes. And like, I thought Sidious was just IQ 160 making all these crazy moves, but he really, until he became, what was it? Not Supreme Chancellor. He took over Naboo, I think, Senator of Naboo, whatever. He wouldn't have done it without Plagueis, and he says so himself, and it's beautiful. Definitely check out the video and listen to the audiobook if you haven't read the book. I don't care. It's so good. It's a must read if you haven't done it yet.
Must read or listen, yeah. It's great.
Listen. I prefer listen. It's so good. The audiobook on audible.com. 5% off when you use the code. Theory wants me to stop saying that.
No, do you have a code?
No.
Okay. If you did,
I just plug it because I love Audible. No, there's no code.
Yeah, me too. I used to do ad reads with them. Lots of like sponsored.
Do you know how
videos
crazy? Yeah, because I used to do sponsored video because I love them. I would do it for like I shout them out for free, as you know. But back in the day, people won't know this. Back in the day, and I don't know if you had this theory, they would come to you and they'd be like, "Hey, we'll pay you X to do a video." But you got to get X amount of views. And the base one was like 100,000. They're like, we're not paying you unless you make 100,000 views. And I would literally go, I've got a really good idea about X, Y, Z. I'll do this. And I never missed. That was how crazy YouTube was back then. You just go, I can do that for you.
But then they never paid you more if it went over 100. And there were many times where I did that with and it went over 900,000 views, 1 million views. I should get 10x. No. Okay.
No, we didn't know. We didn't know what we're doing.
Bryce Groman says, rewatch Acolyte episode or finish Andor season 2. Finish Andor season 2. Listen, don't believe what these people say. I don't really have that much of an issue with Andor season 2. If I was able to sit through the Acolyte, believe me, Andor season 2 is it's a pleasure. I don't like being told what to do and how to think. Okay, and that's 90% of the Andor fandom, and I don't respect that. So walk away. I don't care. I don't need to watch the show. And if I do, I'll watch it on my own. You'll never fucking know. Who cares? I'm just a guy on the internet. Doesn't matter. All right. I know people are debating the Acolyte versus Andor. It's not really a debate. They're both interesting, but
I think
at least one
pisses me off the most.
Yeah, at least one's fun to make content on.
Yeah, I missed that. That would have been so much fun. The power of many. When you watch that,
yeah, it's a comedy.
Like, fuck, this
it's
is
a comedy.
Be fun.
I know. Yeah. Anyways, it's a good show. Some people like it. Not for me. Anything else you want to discuss?
No, dude. We said, out of respect.
Do a quick one.
Stoops. We'll do a quick one. We're gonna miss you, Stoopy baby. 3 hours later. Who's Stupendous Wave? Who is this man?
Yeah, who is this guy? All right. All chat, that's pretty much it for this week's Rule of 3. I guess 2 tonight. But stay tuned for my videos tomorrow. Stay tuned for Dash's videos. You got a video coming every day now? Every
No,
week?
no. I just changed format. I've just been testing crap. I've come up with 3 series that I think are going to be banging. Like I'm not just dicking around on the channel anymore. I'm coming in hot very soon with 3.
Nice.
And the 2025 series, they're not just flailing it. Like, I think I've got it. Very excited.
Looking forward to it. So is it Dash Star 2.0?
No, I think Dash Star works. The SEOs worked so well
Okay.
that it just Dash Star
It's
would
picking
work.
up. It's not taking you to the other guy's channel. Good. All right. Well, we love you guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video.
May the
Later.
force be with you.
May the force be with you. Always.